Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. We are going to go ahead and get into it. If you have been enjoying this read along series, well, I got a good one for you today. Look, so this is what we're gonna do. We're speeding ahead in time. Hey, Keonce, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for tapping in. As you come in or as you tap in, hit the thumbs up for me. It's very much appreciated and definitely needed. YouTube has done some tweaking recently, which is always a good thing and it always ends up working out just fine. But girl, notifications are very suspect right now. And it's just a challenge, but definitely if you guys can hit the thumbs up, if you are on YouTube or if you are on Facebook, go ahead, hit the thumbs up and get in here. Like right now on my monitor it says like 0 or here, but you guys are starting to tap in. Like the number isn't even jiving. It's weird. So anyway, let me go to my YouTube monitor. But anyway, we're going to get started. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to jump to Sakiyna's testimony. So this is going to be day 9 and day 10. And if there's specific testimony you guys want to hear, first of all, what I can tell you is anybody who wants this, you can go to the Broward County clerk of courts, look up Sakiyna's information, and it's there. So you guys can look this up, but it is very labor intensive to read this whole entire thing. We've read about 2.5 days worth so far, and we're going to read these next two. But I think the bulk of the people following this case, some of you guys have gotten into all of the reporting that I've done. So you have a lot of information, a lot more information that then had been widely known up until, some months ago. Also dispel some, a little bit of misinformation and just information that was just, people, we were trying to piece it together because there wasn't a lot known. It wasn't televised and it was definitely, had to be requested via FOIA to get additional information, just to get at least the facts of the case, period, just to get the facts of the case, right? So anyway, if there's something specific that you want, let me know. If I have it, I'm happy to bubble it up or do a video or whatever, if that's something that I can do. But I'm definitely committed to Sakiyna's testimony because I think that's where some TT is going to be, in terms of her frame of mind, specifically straight from the horse's mouth. What was this girl going through? Why was she tripping so hard over this guy, Terry? And I guess just see what her version of the story is. Not that her version is going to be the best version of the story, because unfortunately the decedent is not here to be able to speak for herself, and that is Miss Kayla. Kayla's not here to speak for herself, so she cannot give us her version. We know Terry, daddy, is not talking, and he probably has to keep the peace, because I guarantee you, as crazy as this chick was on the street, she's probably on 10 times 10 in the penitentiary, because she is in the women's penitentiary. Oh, thank you, Thessie. You're so sweet. Thank you, boo boo. Let me tell you something. I got a text from Florida Department of Corrections yesterday. I was like, what? Hold on. What does it say? Girl, yesterday at 5:38 p.m., from Florida Vine. If you've ever looked anyone up in the system, there's something called Vine, where somebody who might be in any of these correction systems, you can get like a text or call notification if a prisoner that you're keeping an eye on for whatever reason, you might be a victim, whatever the case might be, and they're going to send you a text as soon as something changes. So I got a text yesterday that says Sakiyna Thompson was transferred from Florida Women's Reception Center to the custody of Lowell Annex on 2/20/26. Your registration transferred. you will still get messages. So I guess if she ever moves again, they'll send a text, or let's just say for some reason she has to go back to Broward, who knows, for whatever reason. If she's moving from facility, it's going to give it, it lets us know. So yesterday, ma'am moved. We should look on Department of Corrections, see if she got a new picture. Let's go see. Um, Bessie dropping some coins on me. Thank you, boo. Hold on a second. Let me. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me look on Department of Corrections real quick, and then we're going to get into it. And shouts out, good afternoon and good morning to all of our friends on Facebook. All right, here we go. Florida Department of Corrections. Y'all, it still feels like morning to me, but obviously we know it's morning somewhere, but oh my God. It is definitely still feeling like, okay, let's see. Um, is this where I'm supposed to go? Okay, offender. Is it offender search? Okay. Search all correction offender database. Inmate. Okay. All right, let's see if we can find her. Let's see what's going on. Okay. No, same picture. Hold on. Same. Her little same blue picture. Okay. Okay. Nothing has changed. But when was that? Yesterday? She's in Lowell now. Where is Lowell? I think that's where Sarah Boone is. Lowell. Who else is in Lowell? Y'all, it's a bunch of like who's who of murdering ass females over there. My God. Hold on a second. Let's go see. Damn. Okay. New search. Boone. She's at Lowell. Girl. She's at Lowell too. Is what's her name over there too? All the murderers are over there. Ew, God. Okay. What about the crazy neighbor, Susan Lawrence? Let's go see. Susan. Girl, they got Susan over there too? Oh, she's at Homestead. Susan's at Homestead. Crazy Susan. Okay. Where is damn Adelson? Did Donna go? Where's Donna? This is terrible. Hold on. Donna is over there at home. So Donna and Susan, baby, what a horrible combination. Those two are going to be sitting there just complaining their asses off the whole time. Okay. And damn, I don't know what's worse. Susan and damn Wendy meeting up, or friggin' Sarah Boone and Sakiyna. Oh my God, having breakfast together. What a mess. Okay. Oh God. Okay, Sheila Agee. Let's find out. Girl, where are the Florida murderers housed? Okay, Sheila Agee and her dumb behind. Sheila Agee was stupid. Girl, if going on the stand was a problem, I don't know what made her think that she was going to be able to take the stand and explain, girl, lol. Ooh, baby. Baby, look at that picture. Girl, Sheila Agee. Homestead, worst places ever. Okay. Who else? Girl, hold on. Let me make Sheila big. Hold on. Girl. Next time keep your mouth shut. Don't tell your grown ass son with kids what to do. Okay? Especially when he's just as dumb as you are. Okay. Who else is in okay, if you guys think of anybody else, but yeah, Sheila's over there with damn Sakiyna and Sarah. Okay. Okay. All right, let's get into it, guys. Um Happy Saturday. Okay. Hi Tish. Hey boo. Good morning to everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Let's get into it. This was kind of I started reading just a little bit. Did I lose my doc? Oh, I was about to say, did I lose my document? But it's on another page. Okay. I opened up a separate tab. Okay. Oh, there it is. Um, they get right to it. All right. Y'all, okay. Okay, let's get into this right here. All right. If you're just now coming in, we're jumping and we're going straight to Sakina's testimony because I'm gonna be honest with you. It's so much and it's, I think it's just a very I'm gonna put this it's just a very niche group of us who are interested in this testimony. So I just don't want to dedicate like it's a lot of time to have to dedicate to reading all of this, but I definitely want to read what we're getting into right now, Sakina's testimony. And if there's anything else you want to hear about, then let me know and then we'll take a look at it. But right now, we're getting ready to read Sakina's and finish this up. And just know, I mean, I've got all the transcripts. So, and if you want to read it independently, then just all you got to do, I'll drop the link. Here, I'm dropping the link right now. All you got to do is hit case search and go ahead and do your big one. Um, and then you can read it like it's a good book. Okay. There you go. Boom. There it is. Okay. No gatekeeping. Okay. And you just click on case search and have at it. Okay. All right. Let's get into it, guys. So Sakiyna ended up hitting the stand on day 9 of the trial, and day 9 was actually October 10th. And so the prosecution had just closed, the prosecution had just rested their case, and then the defense was ready to go, as you can see what it says here. And the court is asking, are you ready to go? Portia. All right, let me let her settle down just a little bit. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So the defense ends, I believe, with the medical examiner. So I've been skimming through and reading, but anyway, the defense ends with the medical examiner, and the prosecution ends with the medical examiner, and then here comes Miss Ross, and we're gonna get into it. Let's see. If the court will allow, I actually like to, for the remainder of time until after lunch, we were cut off. I wanted to spend more time with her at least. Judge, maybe you can ask the jury to come back at 11:15 so we can just speak with Miss Thompson. We can go ahead and start. Obviously, her direct and cross, I will assume, will take us through the rest of the day. I will be putting in a stipulated evidence and the state of the clothing that was collected by Officer Barnhart. Okay. So they're talking about some housekeeping matters before they get her on the stand. Okay. At this time, the defense calls Sakiyna Thompson. Here we go. I can only imagine when they were in the courtroom what the energy was like when she was getting ready to hit the stand. So this is the direct examination of Sakiyna Thompson. Let's get into it. I'll put my headphones in so I don't have to hear what's going on in the house. Good morning, everybody. Tap in as you come in. Tap in as you come in for me, please. I so appreciate it. Happy Saturday, guys. Um, you're what? My church put a church inside the facility in Homestead. So what does that mean? You guys go to church at the prison, or they put a church in the prison for the inmates? I'm not. Can you tell us what that means? Or do you guys go and do fellowship with prisoners? Tell us what that means. Okay. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's get into it. Okay. I guess tell us in the chat, but that's nice. I mean, look, people need something, you know, uh people need guidance, and that's good if there's actually like like not just a chaplain, that there's some, some rooted spiritual nourishment available. So that's good. That's very good. Like that there's a prison. I'm assuming what you're saying is maybe there's some sort of prison ministry there or something. Okay. Let's get into it, guys. Hi. So here's Miss Ross. Miss Ross is Sakina's attorney. So what we were reading before, Miss Johnson would go first, because that was the prosecution. This is the defense team. So this is the direct of Sakina, and then Miss Johnson will be coming through. Okay. All right, guys. Hi, Sakina. Hi, Miss Ross. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? A little nervous, but fine. Okay. I know you're a little soft spoken. Just try to speak up. You've heard how difficult it is to hear from over here, right? And she says, yes. So try to speak up so everybody can hear you. A second. So everyone can hear you. And she says, yes. Okay. So try to speak up so everyone can hear you. Now, first, Sakina, please introduce yourself to the jury. And she says, hi. She says, I'm Sakiyna Thompson. Thank you guys for being here and also supporting us. Who told her to say that? Objection, Your Honor. The court sustained. Okay. Say your name and that's it. Miss Ross says, all right. The court, yes, ma'am. I'm Sakiyna Thompson. Miss Thompson, how old are you? 31. Okay, keep in mind, look at the date on here is October 10th, 2025. It's in the title, just in case anybody wants to know. Hold on a second. Let me just do this really quick because somebody is going to ask, which is fine. Someone's going to ask. So let me just preemptively. What is the date of this testimony? October 10th, 2025. Let me pin this. Can I pin from here? No. Okay. All right. This is where we're at today. Okay. I pinned it to the top. Sakiyna Thompson testimony, October 10th, 2025. Let's read. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, Miss Thompson, how old are you? I'm 31. All right. How tall are you? 5'4". What? I'm sorry. 5'4". Okay, 5'4". How much do you weigh? Currently, I'm 170 pounds. Okay. Do you remember back in July of 2022 approximately how much you weighed? About 160. Okay, 165-ish. All right. All right. Now, what do you do for work? Right now, I don't do anything, but I've been doing nails since I was 15. So it would have been 13 it would have been 15 years, but I was doing nails for about 13 years. Okay. Where did you live prior to this? I lived in New York, Queens, New York. Okay. Who did you live with? I lived with my mom and my sisters. All right. Now, do you have any children? I have a son now. He's almost 3. Can you just speak up? I have a son. He's almost 3. Okay. What is his name? His name is TT. TT. Miss Ross, okay. And Judge, at this time, the defense enters a stipulation by the parties that medical records confirm on July 12th, 2022, Sakiyna Thompson, the defendant in this case, was approximately 8 weeks pregnant. Miss Johnson, no objection. The court, okay. That will come in as defense number 5. Clerk, 5. All right. And where is your son now? He's with his dad. All right. Who is that? Terry. All right. Would that be Terry Thermogen? Terry Thermogen. All right. Where does Terry live? Terry lives in Queens, New York. All right. So obviously you've been sitting here the entirety of the trial, right? Yes. And you were present for all of the evidence, all of the testimony. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about some of the stuff that was introduced so we can get some clarification. But tell us a little bit about how you first met Terry and your relationship with him. I first met Terry in around 2015 or 2016. He needed his nails done. So I was I'm sorry, you said he was getting his nails done? He needed his nails done. Yeah. Okay. So he was a client of mine and I did his nails a few times. We exchanged contact information, social media, and that was it really. Okay. And did you start dating Terry right away in 2015 when you met him? No. All right. When did you and Terry start dating? We started dating like August 2020. All right. And how was the relationship? It started off like happy. Okay. We were like inseparable. We were always together. We were always going out. If he was at my house, I was at his house. And if he wasn't at my house, I was at his house. We went out to eat, we went to parties, we had lots of mutual friends, but we were always together. Okay, so that's around August of 2020, you said. And now, did you stay together until the incident or were there any breakups in between? There was breakups. Okay, so walk us through a bit of your time and timeline of your relationship. So August, we met each other's parents. I met his family on Thanksgiving 2020. Okay. I met his mother already before that. We spent holidays together, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. We broke up like January, February of 2021. Yes, that was our first little official breakup. Okay. Why did you break up in January, February of 2021? He made a comment about my ex-boyfriend and I made a comment about his ex-girlfriend. Okay. But he only knew I made the comment because I had saw something on his phone and was the only way I was going to find out because I went through his phone. She's stupid. Ma'am is not smart because part of the accusation is that she retrieved some of Kayla's information by getting into his phone. Why would that be the first thing that you talk about when your dumb ass sits down? Like she better think of for long and hard as to why she's doing a life sentence, which I'm certainly not saying she should have gotten away with it. But why would you get on the stand and further incriminate yourself and tell the jury that you have a history of being nosy in this man's phone and pissing yourself off? You know what I'm saying? Like you did this. This is what I mean by you did this to yourself. But he only knew I made a comment because saw something in his phone that was the only way I was going to find out because I went through his phone and of course the lawyer goes, "Okay, yeah. Did you go through Terry's phone a lot?" Very often. Very often? Yeah. Okay. And did Terry ever go through your phone? I've caught him going through my phone. Yes. I'm sorry. I've caught him going through my phone through I've caught him going through my phone. Okay, so when you guys break up in January, February of 2021, did you guys get back together? Yes, we got back together about a month after that. About a month after, inaudible response. All right. So that would have been what, like March or so of 2021, middle March. So, okay. So what happened after March of 2021? Everything was good. My birthday was in June. So we were together. I had a party. My friends were there. His friends were there. July, everything was fine. And then I found out I was pregnant. This would have been July of 2021. 2021. Okay, so when you were pregnant, July of 2021, were you and Terry still together? We were still together. Yes. Okay. And then what happened? What happened with that? I had a miscarriage about a month after that. Okay, do you know how far along you were when you had the miscarriage? I was like 4 to 5 weeks. It was early. Okay, now the miscarriage, then if you found out that you were pregnant in July of 2021, then would have been like August of 2021 that you miscarried. Yes. Okay. Now during the time August of 2021, we heard testimony that a woman named Kayla Hodgson kind of came into the picture. Yes. All right. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Okay. So I also baked cakes for a living. And can you speak up a little bit? I also baked cakes for a living, and there is like a pop-up event where businesses come and they have like a table if you're a vendor. So I had one, and I remember that day, I believe I was selling my cupcakes, and it was Terry's best friends that organized the whole thing. So he paid for my table for me to support my stuff, and he always buys cupcakes for his friends and family. So that night, I remember that he left a little bit early, and I went back home because I was tired from baking all day. I went back home and was with my sisters and my friends because they helped me out. And he said that he was going to a friend's party. And I said, okay, just text me. Let me know if you're coming over, and I'll come over, or if I'll come over after. He didn't text me that night. The next day, he just texted me. The next day, he just texted me all day, everything as regular. And later on, the next night, I saw through a mutual friend this promoter. She's a promoter and she posts a lot of stuff that's happening at parties. She's posting everything. Now, when you say posting, you mean on videos? Oh, social media? Yes, social media on Instagram. Okay. So she's posting stuff, and I see Terry with a girl, and they look a little like intimate, very like close. So I texted him about it and I said, "Who's the girl at this party that you're at?" I see it on the girl, and her name was Lonnie. I said, I see it on Lonnie's Instagram. And he told me that don't worry about it. It's just a bartender and I'm just paying my tab. And I believed him because with bartending, I party too. Bartending, they have to kind of be close to you because it's loud in parties. The parties are loud, so they kind of have to be close to ask you questions. Sorry, and ask questions, and about the services. Do you need another hookah? Do you need another bottle of water or whatever? And so I believe that. And I remembered I seen her, like they looked very close. They looked too intimate. Something was up, but I believed it. Now we heard testimony about something with Kayla wearing a ring that belonged to Terry. Do you recall any of that? No. Okay. You just saw some pictures and they looked a little intimate. It was a video I saw. Videos. Okay. And so when you saw that, what did you do? I wrote him about it and asked him what was going on. He said it was nothing. It's just the bartender. Don't worry about it. He was swearing up and down it was nothing. So I believed it. And that was that. So I fell asleep, woke up the next day. I'm still watching his stories, like Instagram video stories, and seeing that they went to another party after that, which is usually normal. Like we end up going to another spot, another party if nobody wants to be done for the night. And I seen that she was also there. And I said, okay, it seems like either the group or the crowd followed each other to the next party and they were together in those videos too. So I decided to write her because her Instagram name was tagged in the photos in the video. Okay. And that's where I hit her up the first time and wrote her the first time. Okay. And when you say you hit her up or wrote her the first time, that was on Instagram? Yes. All right. Publishing States Exhibit 8. Defendant, that's my Instagram. That's your Instagram? Yes, that's the first time I wrote her. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. So this is the state's exhibit 8. So this is the first time you ever wrote Kayla. Yes. All right. And up top we see Sakai. Yes, that's my nickname. Okay. And this is from your Instagram account, correct? My Instagram account. Okay, now this text message, we're seeing a phone number 7198. Yes. All right. What phone number is that? That was one of my phone numbers at the time. I had a business phone, a personal phone. Okay, do you still have that number? No, no. Okay. Now you're referencing here the guy with the braids. Was he trying to talk to you or do y'all talk? That's all I want to know. Right. Correct. Yes. Now, did Kayla ever respond to that? No, she did not. Okay. How did you feel about that? It confirmed what I was thinking. Okay. And so then you decided to write her again? Yes. Then I wrote her this. It was about, it's time's not there, but it was around 10 the next morning after or that following morning after I wrote him originally. Okay. And you're saying, so now it was, okay, can you just 3 the next morning when I see them out again? Okay. I think you're out to eat or something. Now I'm writing him also like, you're a liar. I don't believe you. I wrote this girl, she didn't answer me, so it's suspicious, like it's confirmed. I knew something was up. Okay, and so you're saying that the first portion of the text messages were around 10 in the morning, and then the bottom portion, 3:05, that was the next morning. Okay. Now you write, can you read the last two messages and kind of say what any of the slang means? Okay, I said, it's sick you're not answering when you could be a female keeping it G. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here pregnant. What is keeping it G? Keeping it G means like some people could say keeping it gangster or keeping it real, basically keeping it jiggy. Oh God. But it just means keeping it real. Okay. And you say, I'm sitting here pregnant. So this is when you're still pregnant in August of 2021? Yes. And then the next part of the message, I say that she read it because at the bottom you can see if they read it. Okay. So she read it and she ignored it. So then I wrote the following message and said, The sick part is if you're already talking and hanging out, I want to know. I'm not coming easy on either of y'all. Okay. And I'm texting him at the same time. I'm blowing up his phone as I'm texting, writing her Instagram. All right. So you were pissed at this point. I was pissed. Okay. And what did you mean I'm not coming easy on either of y'all? I was pissed because she knew I was pregnant. And now I see videos that she hadn't blocked me at this point. So I see videos that they're out to eat because I don't know if she was doing it on purpose but I seen him kind of in the side. Okay. What did you mean by I'm not coming easy on either of y'all? It was just really a metaphor, really, because I was texting both of them and I'm not coming easy on either. Like, you're going to hear what I'm saying. Okay. And that was in August of 2021. Yes. All right. Y'all, hold on a second. My husband's in the garage doing some stuff and the dogs are going crazy. Let me open up the back door so they can go outside and have an outlet because they're mad because he's not letting them into the garage. Hold on a second, guys. Hey guys, sorry, I had to get them situated. So, um, okay. Okay, so that was like August of 2021. Didn't she say she was close to at that point either she probably had already miscarried. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say I don't believe anything this girl is saying. I just don't believe that she was really pregnant. She probably was just saying that. But maybe she did lose the baby around that time. I'm not sure. Girl, can you believe that? She really didn't need to testify because at the end of the day, there was no circumstance around like the medical examiner testimony. I mean, she cut the girl's jugular vein. She stabbed her almost 40 times. She stabbed her 37 times and she had very deep wounds in her neck. And she got her in her jugular, she got her carotid artery. Ma'am bled out a lot. And there wasn't going to be by the time the fact that she took her sweet time to leave this girl's apartment um and Rovelto didn't come probably almost for 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like, he was calling her, but he didn't know Kayla was laying there dead. He was knocking on the door. He finally enters the apartment. Kayla had probably been laying there maybe 8, 9, 10 hours at that point. She was dead. You know what I mean? There was no saving her. She didn't even give her a opportunity to make it to a hospital. She cut her, very deep wounds, lots of blood, shut the door, got in an Uber and went about her business. And no one showed up because Kayla and her mom were roommates. Her mom was on a work trip and wasn't due back for a couple of days, and she wasn't found. It had been at least 9 hours since this confrontation. So, ma'am, the young lady was gone. Anyway, okay, let's keep going. Okay, and that was August of 2021. Yes. All right. And after you wrote the last message, that's when is that when Kayla blocked you? That is when that's when she blocked, because this is her screenshot. So she blocked me where it says you blocked this account. Okay. That's all right. That's okay. All right. So, what happened after the first Instagram message and Kayla blocked your account? So now you're in August of 2021. About 2 to 3 days later, that's when I miscarried. Okay. So how far along were you for that? I was about 4 to 5 weeks. Okay. And how did you and Terry handle that? I was crying and I wrote him because at this point, Terry, Terry seeing Kayla at this point. Yeah. Okay. And what did Terry do when you told him this? This was the first time he ever showed a different side of him. Can you elaborate? Like, he had the same mannerisms as far as how we were raised, our families. He's respectful. Miss Johnson, objection to improper bolstering. Court sustained. Defendant and sustained. Miss Ross. Okay. So what did Terry do when you told him about the miscarriage? He basically was saying that I was lying. Okay. And I was looking for attention. Ooh, he didn't even believe she was pregnant. I mean, 4 to 5 weeks, not to say that that's not valid, but how did you know you were pregnant? You would have just missed your period. So I guess, she might be one of those that knows the minute that they get pregnant, but a lot of, I mean, some people don't even know if they're 4 to 5 weeks, 4 weeks pregnant. Okay. He said she was lying, and I was looking for attention. He didn't believe you. He didn't believe me. Okay. So what did you do then? I mean, that says a lot. Either the type of person he was or the type of person he thought you were, that he didn't believe that you were pregnant. So anyway, I wrote his mother and I told her what was going on. And I'm assuming that she spoke to him because he came over, that I wrote her in. Okay, let's try to read this. Okay. I wrote his mother. I told her what was going on. And I'm assuming that she spoke to him because he came over, that I wrote her in like the morning. So he came over, sorry, and we spoke about it. And he apologized without apologizing, if that makes sense. Okay. He knew he was wrong and he didn't want to admit that he was wrong. Okay, all right. So now this is we're still in August of 2021, right? Yes. All right. So at this point, you and Terry stayed together? Yeah, we were still together. Okay. Did that change at any point? Yes, because this is now the beginning of September now, actually. And his sister's birthday is blank. So I made her a cake and the family was at the house. And then I saw him talking to this other girl. Not Kayla Hodgson, not Kayla. Okay, how did you see this? Through his phone. Okay, I saw it in his phone. All right, so blank, you said is his sister's birthday, 2021. Now you're seeing that he's talking to a different girl on his phone. What happened then? This time now I broke up with him because the first breakup with him because I made a comment, even though he made a comment first about my ex, I made a comment back. He was, what do you do? What is that? Oh my God. Hold on, guys. Let me make sure my pantry's closed. Hold on. Oh, yeah, yeah. He's got it in his mouth and he's running around the living room with it. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Okay. This time I broke up with him because the first breakup was him because was first breakup was him because I made a comment. Even though he made a comment first about my ex, I made a comment back. He was mad that I went through his phone. So he kind of broke up with me. Okay. So now this time I broke up with him. And the reason I broke up with him was because I contacted this girl and I asked her what was going on, just like I contacted Kayla. Okay. And then he told me everything and she told me her age, and it was the age thing that I did not like because at the time Terry and I was 26, 27, 28. Okay. Around those okay. Around those that age, and the girl was 19. So I thought it was a little like deviated. I was it was something very like I j- this girl, if this is how she actually talks, I cannot imagine. So I thought it was a little like deviated. It was something very like I just didn't like because to me I feel like you might it just makes me feel like you would justify a 17-year-old would, you know? Okay, so obviously you said you spoke with the girl. I spoke with the girl. She told me everything. She told you everything. She told me everything. And then you break up with him. And then I left him. Okay, so it's September, early September. This is now September of 2021. Yeah. And then what happened? And we're not speaking for like 3 weeks. So that was blank because that was on his sister's birthday. His sister's birthday was blank. So he tried to come to get in the picture and say, "Oh, we always spend our birthdays together," basically trying to gaslight me. And I said, "No, because I don't like what you did." And I spoke to this girl and she seemed like a nice girl, and I just don't like what you did because we're together. I just found out about the other girl and I miscarried. And then I find out about this other girl, and his mother got involved with it too because I was like telling his mother, he whatever. This is a young girl, and I feel like he manipulated her in a way to have sex with her. Not forced her or anything, but I just did not like it, so I left him. Okay. He tried to come back around his birthday and I said, I think he's a Virgo or something. Maybe she is too. And he tried to come back around his birthday and I said, I'm still not trying to be at your birthday party. So, all right, we're still broken up. And did you guys get back together at any point? We got back together on Halloween. Okay, so Halloween of 2021. So like we didn't speak for pretty much blank at the end of this month, so we didn't speak for a whole month, pretty much all of October. Okay, and so you guys get back together on Halloween? Yes. Okay, and then what happened? What happened? We were fine until then from Halloween. Can you speak up? We were fine from Halloween, October, November, December. Everything was fine. Okay. Now, during this time, you're saying Halloween, November, December, through when you guys were fine. October, November, December, January, February, March. Okay, so March of 2022. So in that time that we're discussing, were you and Terry are back together? You're kind of fine. Did you know if he was seeing Kayla at that time? I did not know. No. Okay. Were you checking his phone to see if he was seeing Kayla? No, but New Year's 2021 because we all spent the holidays together. Okay, so the first of the year, just to clarify for the jury, New Year's 2021, meaning December 31st, 2021. Yes. Okay. Because December 31st, 2021, we spent it at his house. And then the 31st of 2021, we spent it at his house again. So now I'm over at his house and we're sitting down watching Netflix or something and we're eating and his phone is face up and I see it says KK. I didn't say her full name. I just said KK and figured that it was the girl because I remembered who this was. And she was calling his phone, calling his phone, calling his phone. He's not answering. So I was like, so you were seeing KK pop up? So you were seeing KK pop up, and I was shocked actually that the phone was even face up or not in his pocket or something. And I was like, you're not going to answer? And I was like, so what are you guys talking about? And I was trying to like keep the peace per se because it's New Year's. I don't want to argue or fight going into the new year. It's just there was a lot of times I tried to leave things alone, but I was, what's going on? And he's like, I don't talk to her. And I didn't believe him. Okay. And he was like, I don't talk. And I was like, I don't believe him. Okay. So, he's denying it. I didn't believe him because I'm seeing her blowing up his phone. So, and you're telling me you guys don't talk and it's kind of contradicting. So I said, let me see the messages. He didn't show me the messages, but he opened up his call log and I seen this and in parentheses in red because when you get a missed call, it's in red. It said 14. So she called him 14 times and this is on December 31st, 2021. Okay. So he had 14 missed calls from Kayla to you known as Kayla. Yes. And he tells you he's not seeing her. You don't believe him. What do you do then? Oh, I just let it go. So she just lets it go. Okay. And I didn't write her again. She blocked me. I'm not surprised. Now, court reporter, the mic, sorry, yes, defendant, a little bit. Court reporter, yeah, just a little bit. Thank you. Now you're just getting a little feedback from the microphone. So one of the evidence that the state introduced, sorry, this is the wrong one. The mouse isn't working. Okay, Ms. Rose. Okay. What are you looking at here? I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. This is for reference, State's Exhibit 9 that I'm publishing. First of all, let's see with the number at the top. Whose number is this? That's one of my other phone numbers. Okay, that one, I believe that was my main phone number. this was your cell phone. That was my cell phone. That's one of my numbers. I don't know if that was the main one or my business one. It's been 3 years. I don't remember. Okay. This was the number that you used primarily? Yes. Okay. So do you recall sending this message? I do. Okay, now we heard evidence. The detectives testified that in the T-Mobile call logs for this phone number, there were no calls between or communication between you and Kayla. Can you explain that to the jury? Because this here is an app called Telegram. It's kind of like WhatsApp, and I wrote, you can see who's also on Telegram, just like how you can see who's on WhatsApp if your phone number is linked. And since okay, so this was done through this app Telegram. Now we can see in here there's a sort of a message within a message. And I'm just going to zoom in. Now let's start with this. Can you clarify? Can I clarify for the jury that the reason how I got no, defendant, no, she needs to ask you a question. Okay, sure. Well, let me ask you something. What would you like to clarify for the jury? Objection, Your Honor. That's not a question. Sustained. Okay, so this message, can you tell us about it? Okay, this message up here? Sure. Or the whole thing? So I took a screenshot that I saw from his phone. Okay, that's when did you see this screenshot? This was exactly January 3rd, 2021. How, oh, you remember, guys, the last time we read and Janisa, the best friend, remember Kayla had told her that she was going to stop seeing Terry and that she was leaving him. She was leaving him behind. So I wonder, did she mean to say 2022? Because they were already talking about August of 2021. Maybe this is a mistake. Because do you guys remember that? Let me see what you guys are saying. Do you remember she said Kayla was supposed to stop seeing Terry because she said she thought he was lying or whatever, or he just, maybe it was too much trouble with the girlfriend. And she said that she was going to leave him in the past. She was going to leave him after, she was going to leave him in whatever year that was in, I guess 2021. Let me see what you guys are saying. She wants to be noble. Let's get him back. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's gonna have to, girl. She's gonna have to get it from Donna Trunk, but I don't know if he's gonna be messing with her. Let's see. This girl wasn't working with she's stupid. I'm sorry. This is even a worse look. It's a terrible look what she did to jump on the plane and go attack this girl. But your boy was playing you stupid. He was playing her so extra dumb. She has got to feel like a complete dummy. If this wasn't so sad that this young lady got viciously murdered, I I wonder what the gallery's overall impression, just how, girl, serious, you did all this for that? You know what I mean? But maybe they're just equally dumb. So that's probably what that is. This was just like a really stupid love affair. Okay, let's get back to it. So this is exactly January 3rd. I think they're wrong on the dates, but I don't know. Who am I? This was exactly January 3rd of 2021. How do you remember that it was January 3rd of 2021? We went on because there was no date on this. We went on a date because I really wanted to, because look at this. They were just saying it was New Year's, December 31st, 2021. How can that be January 3rd, 2021? That would be January 3rd, 2022, because based on what we're reading, I mean, I don't know. They made look, and then that was December 31st, 2021. So if this is a text message at 4 days after New Year's Eve, hello? Okay. I don't know why no one pointed that out. Like, hey, counselor, can you just validate the years that you're talking about, please? Because it does matter, but hey, okay. This was exactly January 3rd, 2021. How did you remember? Because you know what I mean? Like, she's been sitting in jail for 3 years. You can't expect her to be totally fluid with dates and time, especially because I don't think they have timekeeping. Like, you know, I don't know what they have available to them to be able to know what time it is inside of a jail, but the lawyer should have had the timeline in front of her to notice that this was that they were kind of running with the wrong days at this point. Because there's no date on this. We went on a date because I really wanted to go to this place, and COVID started raising again. So they shut down places in Queens, but Nassau County, they opened up restaurants. So I was like, okay, let's go. And I remember booking that reservation on January 3rd. Okay. And so this screenshot comes from that phone, and the screenshot within a screenshot. The screenshot comes from Terry's phone. Okay. How did you get the screenshot to send it to Kayla from Terry's phone? So I got the screenshot from Terry's phone and I sent it myself to my phone. Okay. So this is at the same time where you testified that Kayla was blowing up his phone. Yes. Okay. So she's using Terry's phone to start with Kayla. She knew exactly what she was doing. So her and Terry went out to dinner. She took a screenshot and she sent it to herself. And then she used that screenshot to taunt Kayla. Okay. Okay, you went through Terry's phone again? Yes, because I went through his phone. This is now January 3rd. Okay, did you Portia, hush. I didn't believe him. And on December 31st, a couple of days before, when he was telling me that she's just blowing up his phone and they don't talk, and I didn't believe him. Okay. And I said, well, let me see the messages. He didn't show me the messages, but he showed me the call log and he said, I'm not answering her. And I was wondering why. Okay. So, but then a few days later, that's when I seen in his phone. Okay, now we see that the bottom up part is that the screenshot within the screenshot. Yes, that is incomplete, correct? Yes. Okay. Now, do you remember when you sent yourself that screenshot from Terry's phone? January 3rd. Okay. It was the same night. Judge, may I approach the court? Sure. All right. I'm showing that what was marked as Defense Exhibit F for identification. Sakina, what are you looking at here? This was the rest of the screenshot. Okay, this is the completed screenshot within the screenshot. Yes. All right. Do you recognize it? I do recognize it. Okay. And is it in the same or substantially the same condition as when you first sent it to Kayla? Yes. Miss Ross, okay, at the time, defense moves to introduce Exhibit F. No objection. Okay, it will come in as this defense number 6. And permission to publish. Yes, you may. There's copies if you want to pass it around. Thank you. Okay, perfect. All right, let me see if I can put this up on the screen. All right, can you read this? No, it's a little blurry. I can kind of see it though. That's good. Can you see it now? Yes. Okay, can you read it for the jury just so we all know what we're talking about? So, this is a screenshot that I found from his phone. So, okay. So this would be Kayla texting. So this would be Kayla texting. So this would be Kayla texting Terry. Yes. All right. Now we see this number at the top ending in 1654. Yes. Okay, to your knowledge, is that Kayla's number? Yes. Okay, go ahead and then can you read what it that for the jury? So when I said a little while ago that we started talking on Halloween, we were where that arrow is before that. I found out like I'm going through his phone. So I just seen the videos. Just speak away from the mic. So you don't get the feedback. I seen pictures and videos that they were hanging out. Okay. Because I didn't speak to him for a whole month pretty much from his birthday till Halloween. Right. So we know that you guys got back on Halloween. Yes. Okay. So I seen that I'm assuming because I seen that they were talking and I seen that she was in town. I'm looking at the videos in his phone and basically I guess I also seen in his group chat I went through his other messages. Okay. And they refer to her as Miami. Oh, okay. Okay. A nickname. Miss Johnson, objection, Your Honor. It's hearsay. We don't have those messages. Sustained. It's effect on the listener, judge. No. Jury is to disregard. It's hearsay. All right, go ahead. And it looks like this text message, at least the first one that has a date, says October 28th. There is one before it that says good morning with some hearts, correct? Yes. Do you remember it? I see that it's cut off here. Do you remember when that one was when Kayla sent that to Terry? I think it was a few days before because he dropped her back up to the airport. Okay, so now go ahead and just read out the messages and the dates that they were sent. So I think this was the day after he dropped her back to the airport. Okay, because she left for New York and she said, "Good morning." He didn't answer. And as you guys can see, the date is October 28th. Can I call you later? He's still not answering. Okay. And then next one. And we see that can I call you later at 3:45? At 3:45? And Sakiyna says 3:45 p.m. PM, correct? Yes. Okay. And then later we see that the same day at 9:15 p.m. she she say, "You're pissing me off, Terrence." And he does this thing where he'll tell Terrence is not his real name at all. Okay. So he'll tell girls that his name is Terrence. Okay, so I guess all right, this okay. So he'll tell girls his name is Terrence. Miss Johnson, objection, Your Honor, sustained. What was the objection? You can't say that somebody else will say. Hearsay. Okay. Court, I know. For the jury, just talk. Again, this is in evidence. So we'll just talk around what's in here. You just can't say what Terry says. Terry? Okay, so she writes, "You're pissing me off, Terrence," right? Yes. Okay, and then the text message we see is on October 29th, 2021. The following, yes, the following day at 5:31 p.m. Yeah, she said, "I hope you're okay." He's still ignoring her, and then she said, "But if you're dubbing me, I wish you would just say that," shaking my head. Okay, now what is dubbing me mean? Like cutting me off. Okay, and SMH shaking my head. Oh my god, can you believe this is a whole murder trial? This is so sad that this girl, if I was Kayla's mother, I would be so disappointed that my daughter like gruesomely lost her life behind this fugazi, these two clowns. This is so crazy. This is awful. This is so bad. Isn't this awful? Okay, and what is SMH? Shaking my head. All right, and then that was October 29th of 2021. You already said that Halloween a couple of days later is when you and Terry get back together. And then after the 29th, what is the next message? What date? So I see they didn't speak pretty much the whole or contact each other, the whole month of November. Okay. And then December 3rd, she said, "Why the fuck did you have to be such an asshole?" He didn't answer that either. Okay. And then the next message, like I said, I'm assuming she was calling him from, because she said, Miss Johnson, objection, speculation, witness, I know, court sustained. You seen me calling, sustained. Miss Ross, okay, can't speculate. So on December 29th, what does she write? She said, I know you seen me calling. I know you see me calling you. Okay, December 30th, 2021, the following. I can't see it. Day, you have to push it up a little. I can't see it. Oh, okay. She said, "All right, Terry, I'll leave you alone for good. I just wanted some clarity. Stay safe." All right. And then that was December 30th of 2021. Now we see December 31st, 2021, 8:35. She calls again, correct? Yes. And what does she write? Leaving you in 2021 and the peace emoji. Okay. Um, okay. Now you already said that the New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2021, that was when she was blowing up his phone, correct? Yes. Hold on a second. Let me fix this. I mean, for him to be, so to your point, our friend, well, who's that? Let's see. Who said? Somebody said, I don't know. It's not all transferring over here, but I see a message where someone says, "Damn, she was going hard for him, going hard for this bum." I hear you, because like what she told Janisa doesn't look, it's at the end of the day, it's six of one, half a dozen of another. Sakina's gonna have her view, and Kayla probably had her view. But at the end of the day, I guess to the point when she told her friend she was leaving him in 2021, I guess behind the scenes she was still getting in contact with him. And even the fact that she was just calling him food guy, it doesn't seem like he was just food guy. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you can, y'all, this is, I'm not going to say this is super hard to read, but it's a little challenging because this girl, this is very like elementary, and the way she's testifying, not in complete sentences, and then it's bothering me because the dates are off, but we're gonna roll through it, right? Okay. Okay. Now you already said that New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2021, that was when she was blowing up his phone, correct? Yes. And you said that you saw 14 missed calls at that point. 14 missed calls. I can collect that. Brief pause. Let's see. Miss Ross then says, "All right. Now let's go back to the State's Exhibit 9. Okay, so that was the screenshot within the screenshot. Yes. And we do see the bottom part. All right, Terry, I'll leave you alone for good. I just wanted some clarity. Stay safe. Yes. All right. And we see the next day is Friday, 8:35, leaving you in 2021, right? Yes. Okay. Now the screenshot that we introduced into evidence, obviously it was the dates on it. And instead of here, it says Thursday and Friday. Yes. Why is that? Because it was time passed. Okay. So since time passed, then it turns into dates. Exactly. Okay. But Friday, 8:35, and it was New Year's Eve 2021. I guess so. Okay, now January 3rd, you see this screenshot and you send it to yourself. Yes, you screenshot it and now you message Kayla directly. Yes. So that's how she got her phone number, I would imagine, right? So now she knows Kayla's phone number. All right. And talk to us about what you sent her and why. So because I found it on his phone, I got her number from his phone. Okay. And then that's why I wrote her on Telegram. Okay. And so you write her on Telegram, you send her the screenshot. Yes, and then you also write some things, right? I write some things. Okay, you said, laughing my ass off, you should have listened to me, you big dummy. You look sad blowing up his phone. Why did you send that? I sent it because I thought the screenshot was a joke when I tried to write her and she didn't answer me and didn't want to speak to me about him. And I'm pretty sure at that point she figured out I was his, like, objection, speculation, sustained. Okay. So why did you send it to her? I don't talk about what you think she might have been thinking, but rather, why did you send it? I sent it basically, I was laughing at her. Okay. You were being a little petty, right? I was being petty. Yeah. Kind of like, haha, he's mine. You should have listened to me. I told you this. I was trying to tell her this is exactly what he was going to do. Right. He did. Right. And we did see that on the first Telegram message that you're telling her, "Hey, I'm pregnant. And what are you guys doing?" Right? Yes. Okay. And now we see four unread messages. Tell us about Telegram and like how that works and how you see unread messages. So on Telegram, you can block the other person. I'm sorry, not block. You can delete this other person's message. So for example, if I sent all these, I could delete it, like for example, this one for either myself, or I could delete it from me and then the other person that you're writing. Okay. That's how Telegram works. Okay. So she deleted some messages here. Do you remember what the messages were that she deleted? I remember that she objection, judge. These are the messages and what's in evidence. If she remembers, court, her messages can say, but not anybody else's messages. Okay, overruled. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, so basically after she's seen what I wrote, she knows I went through his phone. She knows these are her messages and I say you should have listened to me, and she had wrote to me and she said, "You're just mad because I didn't give up." No, I don't, if I can say that. I don't know if I can say that. Go ahead. She said, if that's what she said, go ahead. She said, "You're just," and it's how she said it, "mad because I didn't give him no pussy." And I got trips, gifts, and money. Oh, okay. Okay. How did you respond to that? So she's saying you're just mad because I didn't have to give up Putty Cat, and I still got, what'd she say? Trips, gifts, and money. Okay. Oh my God. I would be so mad as the mother that my daughter went through this for like, this is so bad. This is awful. This is so bad. Okay. Um, mm-mm-mm. So I said, leave him alone. And she's right. She should leave him in 2021. Okay. You're quoting that line that she said in that basically original message. Yes. Go ahead. And I said, you're going to embarrass you, stupid little bitch. Block me again with your weak ass. And that's exactly what she did. She blocked me again now on Telegram. Okay. All right. So now we are at January of 2022, right? We're now at timeline wise. This is January. That message you sent the 3rd. Yes. January 3rd, 2022. Yes. Okay. So did you and Terry stay together indefinitely after that? No. Okay. When did you break up again? In January, we broke up in January. We broke up at the end of March. At the end of March 2022, 2022. Okay. So at that point, you guys break up. Why did you break up that time? A different girl. Wow. I'm sorry. A different girl. Another girl? Another different girl? Another different girl. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Okay. Did you reach out to that girl as well? Why did her lawyer say another different girl? Why did you break up? A different girl. I'm sorry. A different girl? A different girl. Another different girl? Another different girl. Okay. Did you reach out to that girl as well? I don't remember. Girl, stop it. You know how could you not remember? You remember everything with this dude. I don't remember. Actually, I was going to his house one day. I found out about her again through social media because we have mutual friends. Everybody's just posting everything like everybody's just posting everything. Girl, cuz they just knew you were stupid, okay? There's no privacy anymore. And I was going over to his house to return his stuff, actually, and he literally pulls up with the girl in his car. What? And so I literally seen her now, and I was like, she was like, "Are you the girlfriend?" And I said, "I'm the girlfriend, basically." And we didn't argue, fight, nothing, confront each other. And I said, like, I'm in the picture. And okay. He was just basically telling me, like, you're crazy. And he was just standing there. He didn't say anything. He wasn't really saying anything. No. Okay, so is that's when you guys broke up again in March of 2022? Yes. Okay, and then what happened at in March of 2022? I don't remember really. Try. I had a miscarriage again. How did you have a miscarriage again if you guys were broken up? That's what I want to know. So I don't remember. And then the lawyer says, try. She says she had a miscarriage again. How did you have a miscarriage again? You guys weren't even seeing each other, allegedly, right? Okay. You found out you were pregnant before or after? He already knew. Broke up with Terry. I was pregnant. I'm sorry? He already knew I was pregnant. He knew you were pregnant in March. He knew 2022. I was pregnant. Yes. She's one of these girls. You guys know someone like this. Maybe not now cuz we're all mature, but when we were in our 20s, there was always somebody, maybe not in your circle, but somewhere in the mist, who stayed pregnant, getting pregnant, thinks she's pregnant, thought she's pregnant, or taking a pregnancy test because they exist here on this internet. Okay. They definitely, the people that take pregnancy tests all the time, this is her. Okay. So now conveniently, again, they're breaking up. And maybe Terry's one of these guys that breaks up every time he finds out someone's pregnant. I don't know. But Sakina, we've heard at least 3 pregnancy stories inside of a year. Okay. But he's a cheat and you keep giving him opportunities to get you pregnant. Okay. She knew you were pregnant in March. He knew you were pregnant in March of, he knew 2022. I was pregnant. Yes. Okay. And how far along were you in March when you miscarried? I was 5 to 6 weeks. So I was a little further than before. Okay. And did you tell Terry when you miscarried this time? He was right next to me in the bed when I was bleeding out. Okay. That was the worst part. So you guys broke up in March of 2022. How was he in bed with you when you were bleeding out? We went to Dave and Buster's that night, me and him and his friends. And it was kind of like a triple date. And he asked me if I wanted to go to this party that night. And I said, no, I'm just going to stay back. There's many times that he went to parties without me and we're still texting. And sometimes I do pull up to the party eventually, or I'll just wait until he comes back to either my house or his house, wherever I am. And he came back here after Dave and Buster's. He's at the party, and I kind of am just falling asleep. And I felt myself cramping, but I didn't really think nothing of it. And I think I fell asleep watching Netflix, and he came in and we fell asleep about 5 or 6 in the morning. I remember I woke up and I just felt blood everywhere. Okay. I woke up and I was crying. And this was the first time I've ever seen him crying. And he was crying and he was trying to figure out if he did something wrong because we were at Dave and Buster's the night before. And then we went to the hospital. Did he do so maybe they had sex or something. And then we went to the hospital. We went to LHA hospital. And okay, so you did that in March of 2022. You guys broke up. So when you miscarried, were you guys back together? No. Okay. You guys have just gone out to Dave and Buster's and gone back over, not officially. Sorry, you can dating again. Can you repeat the question? Sure. I'm just trying to establish the timeline for the jury. So you said that you guys broke up in March of 22, the 2nd of March. Now she remembers when you saw him pull in with the girl. Yes. Okay. So was that before or after you miscarried? That was after. But I found out that they were talking like that day before, like that something like I think the same day because I saw them on Instagram in videos and I'm pregnant. Got it. You know. Okay. I'm pregnant. So move on. So I just established the timeline for the jury. So you were pregnant in March of 2022 when you miscarried. And then after you miscarried is when you saw him with the girl, or you were pregnant, saw him with the girl, and then miscarried. Pregnant, saw him with the girl. I think she just lied. Do you guys catch that? When she said, so when you saw the girl, were you I feel like she said she wasn't pregnant. Now she's saying she is. Girl, I think she's lying. She's lying, girl. Pregnant. Saw him with the girl. Okay, and then you guys went to Dave and Buster's after, and that's when you miscarried. Yes. Did you guys get back together at that point 3 months later? Okay. So for the period of March of 2022, 2 months, 3 months, 2 months. Okay. So then you guys are still broken up at that point. Yes. But you guys are still friendly. No. Okay. You were not talking at all at that point. Not at all. Okay. Did you guys get back together again after that? Yeah. When? For Memorial Day weekend. I flew to Orlando. I hung out with my cousin, and then we drove from Orlando to Miami Memorial Day weekend, and we hung out. Memorial Day weekend. Okay. And that's at the end. Okay. And that's at the end of March. I'm sorry. So no, May, at the end of May. Okay. And I was there with my cousin and her friends, and we were just having fun. He came with his friends separately. This was in Miami. This was in Miami. Okay. Now, even though you guys lived in New York, did you come down to Miami often? I came to Miami by myself once in April of 2022, and then you came in May? Yes. Okay. And what happened? How did you guys get back together Memorial weekend? I hate how she says I seen when I was getting ready, and I see his name popping up in my phone, FaceTime, and I kind of knew that was going to happen because he knew I was out there. We post everything. His friends, we have mutual friends. So I know he knows that I was there. Okay. So you and Terry, like you guys didn't block each other on Instagram. No. All right. So you could still see what he was doing or what he was posting and vice versa. Yes. Okay. He doesn't post often, but yeah. Okay. And so how did you guys run into each other or see each other Memorial Day weekend? How the Memorial Day weekend is with I was there, the group of people that I was hanging around, we usually always end up at this place called, is it Booby Trap on the river? Okay. Because that's the place that had the fire, right? Do you guys anybody in Florida, do you know what I'm talking about? They had like a big fire. I feel like it's a club where boats pull up, like it's on like a boat dock, and I feel like they had a really big fire. I think it's a huge strip club, if I'm not wrong. Booby Trap is like a huge strip club on the water, and people pull boats up there. And I feel like last year they had a huge fire, if I'm thinking of the same place. But yeah, they says on the river. Um, I'm right. Okay, thank you. Someone's giving some hearts, so I think I'm correct. So they were over. It's like a ginormous strip nightclub, and people pull up like celebrities in their boats and yachts and things like that, and spend lots of money in there. Okay. So they always end up at a place called Booby Trap on the river. Okay. Because they close at 6 or 7 a.m., well, that's when the party really starts at like 5, 6 a.m. So he wrote me and he was asking how was I doing and stuff. And I was like, I'm fine. And he was like, oh, you're here. And yeah, I'm here and you're here too. And I was like, do you want to meet at Booby Trap at the end of the night? And he said, sure, that's where we're going anyway. So we'll link up at Booby Trap, and then he came over to my Airbnb that I was staying at, and that's how we got back together. Okay. Now let me take you back actually to talk about something else that we heard. So you heard testimony from someone named Janisa Tate, correct? Yes. Okay. Did you know who Janisa was? I figured out that she was Kayla's best friend. Okay. How did you when she girl dumb. So you're identifying. So when Janisa, that gives credibility, in my opinion, to Janice's testimony. Because when Janisa was at that club in New York, was it Spotlight or Showroom or whatever that place was that they went to? And Janisa says she walked in and saw Kayla. Well, she walked in, Kayla stayed with Terry, and she walked in and saw Sakiyna. If Sakiyna is mutually co-signing that she knows who Janisa is, then that gives credibility to Janisa's testimony. You see what I'm saying? Like her and Janisa had never met, right? And Janisa is going based off Instagram pictures, and she says she knows who Sakiyna was, right? Now Sakiyna is confirming, well, yeah, I recognize she figured out who Janisa was, right? So they're basically, so this girl's a dummy. Okay. And why her lawyer would ask her that question is so foolish. And see, this is one of the reasons for you guys wondering, why didn't Terry come? Terry is such a fool. First of all, Terry, they didn't. So again, and we've talked about this before, the prosecution clearly does not need Terry to get who to prosecute this woman, because just the forensic evidence and the receipts of her catching a plane, being on the premises, fingerprints, DNA under Kate, like there's so much evidence without one person talking. They already had her, right? They didn't need Terry, the prosecution. And if they would have brought Terry in, I don't know. They really didn't need to. It would have been almost a little bit of just too much information, because these two clearly have a very complicated relationship. And obviously, for good reason, the defense didn't call Terry as a witness, because this relationship was so toxic. There was really nothing that they could ask Terry that was going to help Sakiyna, especially, um, and it would only do anything but make her look worse. But also, the risk could have been on the prosecution side. If Terry is really a bad guy, there could be a couple of people who may have felt that she was groomed. They could feel like she was abused, that she was in an abusive relationship, rather just tagging it as a toxic relationship. So it could have kind of backfired a little bit for the prosecution. So it was better to not have Terry, because people could end up feeling sorry for Sakiyna because she was in this really toxic situation. And you know what I mean? So I think those are the reasons why Terry was not, he was not called, okay, by either party. Okay, let's continue. So they're asking her, okay, did you know who Janisa was? And she said she figured it out, that she was Kayla's best friend. Okay. How did you figure out she was Kayla's best friend? Through videos on social media. Okay. This is before you were blocked by Kayla. So I found her on when I wrote Kayla the first time, and the very first message. I watched her videos and I seen her post, and you could kind of tell who's close friends and who's maybe a best friend. I don't remember if they had pictures together on their page, but that's how I figured out who Janisa was. Okay. And then you heard Janisa testify that sometime in October of 2021, that's when she went to the place called Showtime Lounge, what I was just talking about, and she saw you in sweats, and she says yes. Okay, so you admit to being at Showtime with an attitude, looking like you wanted to beat up Kayla. Okay. Okay, very smart lawyer. Why would the lawyer have her cop to all this? Okay, do you know what Showtime Lounge is? Showtime Lounge is a bar and lounge. Where is it? It's in Queens. Okay, and do you remember seeing Janisa when she described it? Oh, she said not at all. Oh, okay. Okay, have you been to Showtime Lounge? I've I've been to Showtime. Each time I went To Showtime, I was always with Terry. Okay. And so do you ever remember seeing her at Showtime while you were there wearing sweats as she described you? I would never go to Showtime in sweats. Okay. Well, now so she's trying to call Janice a liar. Okay, why not? That's a place that you have to dress up. Like you have to dress up at Showtime. Okay. You don't have to, but it's a dress up place. Okay. And do you think it's possible that maybe Janisa saw you and you just didn't know who she was? I don't think so. Objection, speculation. Okay, you never saw her to your recollection? Not at all. Okay, so let's go back to what we are talking about is Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so what she should have asked her, do you recall ever seeing her in person? I wonder if that she would have answered that. Okay, so let's go back. What we were talking about is Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so at some point Memorial Day weekend, you did you send Kayla some messages from Terry's phone? I did. States Publishing Exhibit 11. All right. So what am I looking at here? This is me texting Kayla on it's a screenshot. I was texting Kayla on Terry's phone. Okay. And as Janisa described, when she said she got this from Kayla as a screenshot, that Kayla, it's a screenshot of a screenshot sent to her. Yes. So as Janisa described it, the column on the left, that would be you texting Terry's phone. Yes. Okay. Because this comes from a screenshot that Kayla took, right? Yes. Okay. And then the column on the right would be the response from Kayla. Yes, it's the response from me, but it's Kayla screenshotting it to Janice's phone. Okay. So let's start with the picture. So what is this a picture of? It's a picture of Terry and I kissing. Do I have that on here? Hold on a second. No, I thought I did. Okay, no. Yeah. And I'll find it. I'll use it as it's in her TikTok. There's a picture of them like smooching. Okay. That's a picture of Terry and I kissing. Okay. There's a text underneath it. Yes. All right. And what did you say in that text to her? So this is now when we're out in Miami, right? This is Memorial Day weekend. The Miami Memorial Weekend, this is about the beginning of June. This is okay, June 1st or 2nd or something. This is still that weekend that you and Terry had just gotten back together. Yes. Okay. And he is with her because she lives out here. Okay. And did you know that Terry had seen Kayla that weekend? I didn't actually. How did you find out? Because I went through his phone and she said, I just got home. So I figured that he just dropped her at home or just left her or something. They were speaking. Got it. And she asked, you're not going to ask if I'm home safe? Miss Johnson, objection, Your Honor, sustained. Judge, this is not to offer for the truth of the matter. It's just for no completeness of the message. No, she cannot repeat what's said from somebody else. The judge, we cannot just go to sidebar for a moment. Sure. Okay, Judge, one of those things that I'm arguing isn't hearsay. It's just being offered for the truth of the matter. Two, its effect on the listener because she then writes back in response to the message that when message that is missing, we're we're home safe because that's what Kayla had written. So it's the effect on the listener, Judge, if you do believe It's hearsay exception. The listener was Terrence. So Terrence is not here testifying to the effect on him. Okay. Kayla was texting Terrence. She's going through Terrence's phone. So it's an effect on Terrence, not on her. Right. There was an effect on Sakiyna, but there was an effect on Sakiyna because Sakiyna was snooping in his phone. And Judge, it's disingenuous. I mean, of her own witness, Janisa, when introducing this message, said, "This is Kayla and Sakiyna talking." That was her saying that. Okay. Okay. And I'm sustaining, and I'm not. Okay. I'm sustaining the objection. I'm sustaining the objection. Okay. The objection is sustained. Okay. So we're not allowed to talk about what's missing from the message. Okay. Okay. But when you write, "He's good, love. We're home safe, though. You good?" Are you replying to something that you saw on Terry's phone that is not captured in the screenshot that the state's witness introduced? Yes. Okay, don't talk about what you saw previously, but were there text messages from Kayla on Terry's phone that are not included in the screenshot? Yes, there was. And that's what I was responding to. Okay, don't talk about those messages. Don't talk about what those messages were, but did you read them? Correct? Yes. Were there several text messages before that? Yes. Yes. Okay. So at this point, did you know that Kayla and Terry were in touch while you guys were broken up? Yes. Okay. And so is that why you sent this photo? Yes. Sort of rubbing it in to let her know we're now together and I'm here, and she knows that he's still in Miami and we're here. I'm here, he's here, and we're here together. Oh, okay. That's how she testified. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So you send the screenshot, you text Kayla, "He's good, love. We home safe, though. You good?" Right? Yes. Okay. A little sarcastic. A little sarcastic. Yes. All right. So, what is this small image that we see here? It's a screenshot. This is the video that I sent to Janisa. So, she was sending Janisa videos. Okay. Now it's on this side. Why? Because I responded to Kayla. This is the response to Kayla. She texted it to Terry right here. This little arrow, parentheses. Yeah, this little parentheses thing is when you respond in a message. Okay, so like create a thread, right? Got it. So one was one message that is not captured in the state's exhibit, a screenshot that you had sent to Janisa. Yes. Okay, now let's go to that screenshot, exhibit 10. All right, what are we looking at? So remember when I said that booby trap usually ends at 5, 6, 7 in the morning? Yes. We just left there. I posted a video. This is not my Instagram story. Okay. I posted a video, and can you zoom in? Can you zoom in on K Zoom? Can you zoom in? Oh, yes. So Terry's in the background. This is you holding the phone. That's me holding my phone. Okay. And then this is Terry in the background. He's in the background. Okay. And you said that this is a video though, right? It's a video, but it looks like it's a screenshot. A screenshot, a still, a video still. And this says sent, Sakiyna's story. Yes. Was this because this was in your Instagram? It's on my Instagram, and it's a screenshot from Janisa because I sent it to Janisa. Okay, and Janisa already testified that this is a screenshot she took. Now, Janisa did not testify that she sent that screenshot to Kayla, correct? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember if she said, okay, that. Now, let's go back to the state's exhibit 11. So, right here, what it was on the messages, that's we're still missing from that screenshot. Yes. Okay. And that was that coming from Kayla sending it to Terry? Yes. And so right here, when we see the small, this is you replying to Kayla's screenshot. Yes. Okay. And that did, and what did you say here? I sent it to her best friend Janisa, and Janisa sent it to Terry. What was your reply to the screenshot that was above the message? I said, you're dead tight because you'd be thinking you're doing something. Oh, you're dead tight because you'd be thinking you're doing something. Wait your turn, bro. Oh, okay. Okay, now what does dead tight mean? It's like a New York slang meaning like you're really mad. That's what it means. Okay. And then because you'd be thinking you're doing something, bro. Wait your turn, bro. What did you mean by that? Like he's not your man. And if you want a relationship, you'll get one. Just wait your turn for me. That that's what I meant. I don't think that she meant that. I think she probably meant we're together and you need to wait till he leaves or something. Okay. And then as we saw from continuing States Exhibit 11 publishing second part of that, what are we looking at here? That's not after what she said to me, what I last said. Okay, so obviously we already heard this. Janisa introduced these text messages that she testified Kayla sent her screenshots of. Yes. Okay. So are you saying that there were missing messages above that? Or was that in reply to the previous? That was just a response to what I said. Okay. So we already saw the previous text messages, wait your turn, bro. And then was this the next message response? That was my next response. Okay. And she was responding to the picture that I sent. And what did she respond? You just love kissing the lips that be in my pussy. Go off, sis. So what did she respond? Okay. So that's what Kayla sent her. Kayla texted her, you just love kissing the lips that be in my pussy. Go off, sis. That's what Kayla finally responds, and that's what she sends her. Wow. Okay. Oh, I know. Oops. Okay. Okay. How did you feel about that? No type of way, because I know that, okay? Well, it's not something that he just does to any girl. So I knew that she was trying to not really rub it in, but she was trying to be petty. Objection, speculation, sustained. How did you feel? Did you feel that she was being petty? I didn't feel no type of way. That's why I say, here we go again. And I left. Okay. And then you wrote, here we go again. And then you wrote something saying, I'm not getting violated in a group chat. Um, I'm not, you, wait, here we go again. And then you write something, I'm not getting violated in a group chat. What did you mean by that? I said the same. I said, it says the same things difference. The difference is I'm not getting violated in a group chat. Okay, what do you mean by that? Because I've seen in a group chat where Miss Johnson, I accept, I object. Your Honor, hearsay. Judge, it's giving context, not offered. Overruled. Okay, go ahead and answer. I seen in the group chat, I remember the messages were she was blowing up his phone and he was not responding, right? That's when he cut her off, like left her alone, and he said, "I'm done with Miami," to this friend in a group chat. None of them said, "Just put her on probation." Like, "No, not yet." And he said, "Fuck that bitch." That was his response. Okay. That was a group chat that you saw from Terry's phone. And then in April, we were broke up by this time. I guess when he finally had sex with, he said, "Just fucked Miami." So he was gloating in his group chat what he just did. Okay. Why would she sit there and read all that stuff? Okay, that's what you meant by not getting, oh, violated in a group chat because he's telling all her business, I guess. I'm not getting, at least I'm not getting violated in the group chats. Oh, because he's dropping all of her tea to his friends. Okay. Both of y'all were getting violated in the group chat, if you ask me. All right. So these messages are basically you and Kayla kind of trying to take digs at each other, basically. Okay. And then you wrote SMD, bitch. What does that mean? Suck my dick. Oh, wow. Okay. So you were a little, I was pissed. Now I'm getting petty and telling her, like, listen, okay, and you were saying, I hope your feelings get hurt a lot more now, because I knew you was going to, that you'd had get wifed, sex. No, I don't know what any of this means. I'm sorry. And she was hurt before the other. And I'm assuming they never did nothing. Now I know that you're really hurt because Miss Johnson, objection, speculation, sustained. Okay, don't talk about what you think someone might have been feeling. Okay. Okay. All right. So then the final one you wrote, thought you was going to get wifed and didn't. Psych. Yes. Right? Yes. All right. There were there were any other texts? Were there any other texts, messages from Terry's phone between you and Kayla that night? I don't think so. No. Okay. All right. So now this takes us to, we said Memorial Day weekend. So like late May, very beginning of June 2022, correct? Yes. Okay. Now, did you and Terry now stay together? Yes. You did? Or was there a time you broke up again? We actually, I conceived with my baby that I have now, our baby. Okay, TT, yes. I conceived with my baby that I have now, our baby together on May 31st. So she's trying to say that Memorial Day weekend, when all of this fugazi texting is going on, she's saying that's when she conceived the baby. That same night when he was in the background of the video, so the booby trap night, the night that they met up after the booby trap, she got pregnant. This is so ghetto. And I have been pregnant before, so I knew the symptoms, but I thought maybe like maybe it's just my period, because pregnancy symptoms and period symptoms are kind of the same, except for like the some people throw up, but they're kind of the same. And so now this is June. We go back to New York together. We got on the same flight together, Terry and I. We got back to New York together. So she's trying to say she knew she was pregnant like right after they did it. Um, we go back to New York together. We got on the same flight together, Terry and I. We got back to New York together and was also in the process of moving from houses. So I was actually staying at my best friend's house. Okay. And around a little after my birthday, so my birthday was June 13th, a few days after that, I found out I was pregnant. Okay. So she says she got pregnant the 31st. So here it is. So you're 2 weeks pregnant. Okay. And I didn't even have to take a test. I just went to the bath and I threw up and I knew I was pregnant. Okay. Pause for one moment. Judge, may I go sidebar? Sure. Judge, it's 12:40. I know what time it is. Oh my god, the judge is hilarious. Judge, it's 12:40 and this is what the judge says. I know what time it is. Right. I mean, obviously I still have a long way to go. We're about to get into the meat of all of this. So I just want to ask that we might take a break for lunch. Miss Johnson says we'll defer to the court. He says that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break for lunch. The judge is snarky, is he not? Judge, it's 12:40 and he says, "I know what time it is." How rude. Okay. Okay, so they're getting ready to take a lunch break. Okay. Oh, guys, we still have like 100 pages, if you can believe it, to this test, just to this testimony alone. Okay. We're gonna keep going. Well, how many hours have we been already? 2 hours? Okay, let's try and go another hour, see how far we get. I'm telling you, I would be so mad if I've been sitting had to watch this. Okay, okay. All right, so Sakina, just so everybody remembers where we left off. Okay, so everybody went to lunch and now they're coming back from lunch. Okay. It's 12:40 and the judge says come back at 2 o'clock. Okay. So keep in mind they probably go till about 4:30. So we got still another 2 hours of testimony and then we're reading it, right? Okay. All right. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's go for another hour and then we'll call it quits and then we'll finish up. Okay. Um Please hit the like button. You read my mind. Thank you. I'm sorry, but these ninjas also need to be held responsible for the unaliving of these young girls. Terry was the catalyst that put all this in motion. I totally agree with you, Sherry, but I totally agree with you, but if there was something that they could have come up with to try, I don't think that he said I don't think that he was stupid, he was lying, he was negligent, if maybe, um, it's almost like having a loaded gun in the house and giving someone access to it, and they go to the shopping mall and do something stupid, right? It's kind of like that, or the way that some states are prosecuting parents, not for their kids doing a school unaliving, but more so you never took them to the doctor, you didn't keep up with their treatment, they weren't taking their medicine, you were negligent, you kept your pews unlocked, things like that. The negligence portion, right? Um I totally agree that he is not a good guy, and that is why he did not testify. There was no reason. If Sakina is testifying like this, do you imagine what Terry would deliver on the stand? Terry does not seem like he's the sharpest knife in the drawer at all. This guy probably it would have been more detrimental, and it could have been a feel sorry for Sakina type of situation. You never know how this could have been. That's why he did not testify. I think he didn't testify for a good reason. Um, it, he wasn't subpoenaed to testify for either side because I don't think he has very good redeeming qualities. But if they could have put something on him where he was legally responsible, I mean, morally, I think he's very much responsible because he was a bad dude and he was playing these girls dirty and he was just doing whatever he wanted. But yeah, I don't, yeah. That's he's not going to get charged with anything. He's just a bad dude. He's a guy who was doing himself, and unfortunately, I don't know why these girls hung on, but right, he's going back and forth between them to stroke his ego. Well, it wasn't even just them. He had more than this. He had more than just them. In this, just in the last 2 hours of reading, she broke up with him like 2 or 3 times. Once because of Kayla, once because of somebody who was 19, and once because of somebody else. So there were 3. She broke up with him on like 4 occasions because of 3 different women. And there were probably more than that. Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, guys? But yeah, this is some foolishness, okay? Um it's sad because I don't think Kayla probably did not take this seriously at all. She probably liked Terry a little more than she let on to her friend, but it's really unfortunate that she got caught up with these 2 knuckleheads. She met a knucklehead who had a knucklehead girlfriend, and it cost her her life. I mean, that's really what this all totals up to, is that she really just thought this was some regular ass type of young 20s, fooling around and just do you type stuff, and she was trying to keep it cool and cute, but unfortunately this guy was dealing with just as much of a dummy as he was. And I'm sure if this girl knew that dealing with these 2 was going to cost her her life, she would have pieced out way before. I don't think she even had a clue that it was going to take a sharp left turn to this girl jumping on a plane. I just don't, because clearly this relationship wasn't that serious, and Terry was kind of playing her to the left a little bit. I mean, he was giving her some time and attention, but it wasn't as cute as we thought it was, at least from her perspective. It seems like Terry was playing Kayla a little bit to the left, like when she was texting him for clarity and stuff like that. I was under the impression that he was, kind of putting her on a pedestal and prioritizing her. At the end of the day, Terry just seemed to be prioritizing himself. That's just my kind of take on it. But anyway, let's do about another hour. Let's keep going. Then we'll try to get through the rest of we'll get through the rest of it tomorrow, and then get into when the prosecution call her to the stand. Okay. Okay. All right. So Sakina, just so everybody remembers where we left off, we were talking about how you and Terry got back together Memorial weekend, right? Yes. Okay. And then you said that you got pregnant, but you didn't know at that point, and you guys broke up again around your birthday, June 13th, 2022. Yes. Okay. So that's where we left off. Now, why did you guys break up around your birthday, June 13th? Because of a different girl. So this is girl number 4, y'all. Kayla, the 19-year-old, somebody else. Now another one, okay? Okay, Kayla, the another one. I think maybe this might either be number 4 or number 5, okay? Because of a different girl. Can you speak up? A different girl. Another different girl? Yes. Okay. And did you know who this girl was? His friend. Him and his friends, they went to LA and he met her out there. But he was showing signs that he actually liked her. And I was telling him, like, it's okay. And I could admit that you liked her. Like, we've been broken up for almost 3 months. He wouldn't admit it. And we were going back and forth about it. So we just broke up. Okay. At what point did you find out that you were pregnant for the 3rd time? Like a couple of days after my birthday. Okay, but while you and Terry were broken up, yes. Okay, so when you found out you were pregnant, did you tell Terry that you were pregnant? Yes, I told him. Okay, and what happened then? The bailiff, Your Honor, the jurors can't hear. Oh, okay. Yes. Full pull your microphone closer to you, ma'am. Speak into the mic. So you said that you found out you were pregnant a few days later. Yes. And at what point did you tell Terry? I told him the second I found out. It was like as soon as I threw up, I called him and I was texting him and told him, I just threw up. I'm pregnant. I see the signs. And then he came and saw me because I was at my best friend's house. Speak up. I was at my best friend's house and he came and saw me and he spoke and we spoke about it. Okay. And how did he take it? I mean, tell the jury. He was his its emotions. He was like he was happy. He was showing signs that he was happy. He was like, we're really going to be parents. And I was like, I hope this one goes good because I had two miscarriages. And I told him, like, okay, we have to stop this toxic thing that we're doing and have to figure it out, like what we're doing and what are we doing? Okay. Because I was in the process of moving. So I'm like, okay, like this is serious. Okay. And did Terry agree? He agreed. Okay. So did you guys get back together? We got back together. Okay. So we're in mid June of 2022. So that what they broke up for like 3 days. Okay. Yes. Okay. So at this point, you're pregnant. Terry's acting happy. You guys are back together. What happens then? So then I found out. So now I'm back and forth from my best friend's house to his house. And I found out that him and Kayla are actually still in contact. This is after the last picture that we saw, and I sent her the photo, okay? And how did you take that? I was a little mad. Okay, I was actually mad because now he just told, like, you're letting me believe that we're going to work it out and you're going to be monogamous and you're not going to do these extra activities no more. Can you bring me a bottle of water? Thank you, dear. So I believe him and I was sad and I was a little mad. So then I said, okay, I'm going to go. I seen her address in the phone. Ooh, ooh. Did you hear that, guys? She said she seen his address in the phone. So she confirms with him she's pregnant and she sees Kayla's information. He tells her he was going to be monogamous. So she said she believed him and she was sad. And I was a little mad. So then I said, okay, I'm going to go. I seen her address in the phone. Ooh, ooh. Okay, so you knew Kayla's address. I knew from Terry's, her address. Phone? Yes. And I said, maybe, okay, speak up. I have to, thank you, dear. I appreciate it. I have to just speak to her at this point. Girl, mm-mm. This is like bad decision on bad decision on bad decision. Every time I try to talk to her, she blocks me. Okay, you guys, can you guys type into the chat right now if you believe I have not read this yet. I do not believe on a stack of 1,000 Bibles or anything that makes good sense that if Kayla blocked every single time with the exception of a couple phone calls, text messages, Instagram, DMs, telegrams, whatever. You think that girl opened up her damn apartment door and said, "Oh, hey, come on in"? I don't believe that. Why would somebody who blocks you every chance they get, open the damn door. I wouldn't be surprised if she saw Kayla because it's early in the morning. She was already laying in wait. She saw Kayla get out the car. She scooted her behind up, came up from behind her and damn walked in right behind her, and they commenced to doing what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. There's somebody who is going to not talk to you, not address your text messages, block you, talk shit to you. You talk shit to her. You're showing up looking like a damn Amazon delivery, Uber Eats, bringing over some damn Waffle House late, early damn in the morning, that you're gonna just ding dong. Oh, it's me. It's Sakiyna from the internet. Bitch, it's Terry's girlfriend, the one you've been talking shit to. You think she actually opened up the damn door? And then she was talking all aggressive and reckless to the little 16-year-old girl. You think she rang the door like she's Avon? She probably walked right behind Kayla. And by the time Kayla realized that girl was behind her, she was already in the apartment. Like, now what? I really think this is giving to me. She came running up behind her quick enough to catch her walking in the door. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, they were getting my Smoothie King order. I said, get me something. Oh, with whatever the yogurt is. Oh God. I hope they don't just get. Make sure it's got the vanilla yogurt in it. Well, I think it will have it in it anyway, okay? But make sure it's not just a fruit smoothie, okay? All right. Yes. Thank you, dear. Okay. All right. I mean, if I'm gonna have Smoothie King, I want Smoothie King. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so she had the address. Oh, I was giving my opinion. Tell me if you guys think that too. She bum rushed her. You know what I'm talking about? She was only on the second floor, I think. So she was down there trolling the steps. If she saw her pull up, she probably, she sneaked up there. Anywho, okay. Let's see. So she got the address from the phone. So let's say this. I don't know. She got the address from the phone. Anyway, okay. Yes. And I said, maybe. Speak up. I have to just ask to her at this point, like in person, because that's every time I try to talk to her, she blocks me. Okay. So what's going to be my next question? If you wanted to speak to Kayla at this point, why didn't you just call her? She blocked me. Okay. And obviously you couldn't message her on Instagram because she blocked you there too, right? Yes. Okay. Why did you want to talk to her in person? To let her understand how I was feeling, what I'm about to have a family, and whether I have another miscarriage or not. I want her to understand that I'm not doing a three-way relationship with him. Why don't you tell Terry that? Why don't you tell Terry? You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't have to listen to you. Why wouldn't you tell Terry you don't want a three-way relationship? He's got so many damn women. What do you need to talk to her for? You need to talk to him. I'm not doing the breakup back and forth. And basically, I was pretty much begging for her to respect at that point. This girl is so stupid. I'm sorry. She's so dumb. I don't know. Speak up. I don't know. Okay. I thought that maybe if I could speak to her, that she would have some type of compassion or sympathy as a female and stuff. But yeah, girl, the only way that she could have got away with this type of an excuse is if they gave her some sort of IQ test and she came in at like 14. Because sis is giving very delayed and very not understanding that this is not your way of thinking is not normal, sis. This is a very 7-year-old way of thinking. And that the man who actually got you pregnant is the one you need to be talking to. Like, this is crazy. She thought, so she says, okay, and then she says further, I thought that maybe if I speak to her, that she could have some type of compassion or sympathy. So you wanted her now to feel sorry for you, but you were bad bitch texting her. Okay. I thought that maybe if I speak to her, that she would have some type of compassion or sympathy as a female and stuff. But yeah. Okay. All right. So now we heard some evidence about some Uber and Lyft records. Okay. Yes. Did you have Uber accounts or Lyft accounts? I had a Lyft account. Okay. And what about your Uber account that the state is presenting where it says Sakiyna Thermogen? So Thermogen is Terry's last name, and it was his Uber I was signed into. But when he was with his ex, it was actually her first and last name. So it was her account. One day, Uber picked me up because he sent me home in a ride. And, they greet you with, hey, etc., your name. And I said, change this because I'm obviously not your ex. But he changed it to and put Sakiyna Thermogen to be funny. But it just stayed like that. So it was his Uber account. So it wasn't a fake. People are saying she rolled up on a fake Uber. I guess if you have Uber, maybe you can have people in your account. So it was a sub account of his account, right? And he, you know, I guess he called her Sakiyna Thermogen. Okay, he was leading her on. Another dummy move. Okay. Okay. Now we also heard some testimony that there were some other accounts by the name of Denny Jack and Martha Heary. Yeah. Do you know anything about that? Yes. Okay. Explain to the jury how that happened and what was going on with that. So when they testified, the other lady testified that she was the Uber Eats that he was the Uber Eats guy, the food guy, and he'll send her food. It's these like I guess you could say hackers that they'll send you rides or and food from Uber half off. So if your meal is like $50, you'll get it for like 20 or 25. And if your ride is the same, you'll get 20 or $25, the cheaper ride. But there it's basically like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a scam. It's a scam thing. To save money? Yeah. Okay, pretty much. All right. I heard that there may have been some scammery going on and maybe that's how dude allegedly made some of his I don't know anything about it, but that's I've seen that in my comments that people have said, "Oh, and you know who said that? Miss Johnson." I guess we'll see that in the testimony because I saw a news outtake that Terry was doing some sort of scammery. And that might be another reason why Terry didn't want to show up because he might have been questioned about some things that could have been criminal. I don't know. I don't know, but that might have been another reason why not, that they didn't want to get into that. All right. So at any point, did you create some of these accounts, Martha Heary and Denny Jack? Yes. Okay. When? Around June. Okay. Now I know sometimes it's hard to remember exact dates if you're not like a birthday. Oh, was he creating new accounts so it could be like a new Uber to get like a promotional discount? Is that what she was trying to say? You heard testimony of these were from June 20th of 2022. Yes. Does that sound right? That sounds right. Okay. Why did you create these accounts? Explain why. I created these accounts because I knew that I was going to be going back and forth to the airport. Sorry. So the airport and hotel and etc. and other people's property. And I actually had a nail gig in Miami, well, near Miami, and I don't know actually, and it was a celebrity client. What was it was for what? That's what I'm trying to say. It was for what? Okay, so she says, okay, why did you create these accounts? Explain to the jury. Listen to her lie. I created these accounts because I knew that I was going to be going back and forth to the airport. Sorry, from the airport to a hotel and etc. Other people's property, and I was actually had a nail gig in Miami, well, near Miami. I don't know, actually. It was for a celebrity client. It was for what? Celebrity client? Okay. And I did his nails prior to the beginning of June. So that beginning of, yeah, the same month I did his nails, and I told him, I said, I'll be back because I convinced him to let me do his nails, let me do his birthday cake. And I was like coming back to collect his deposit and do his nails. And his like entourage, I did their nails too. So I figured out if I'm going to go back to Miami or Florida or whatever, I thought everywhere was Miami. Now she's playing stupid. She thinks everywhere is Miami. Like I thought everywhere was like Miami. So I said, okay, I might as well go talk to her around the time if I'm going to be up there. But did you come with your birthday cake supplies? Did you come with your nail kit? Did you come with we don't know what she came with because she came, she killed and she left, right? Okay. And when was the nail appointment with the celebrity client? It was literally on July 13th. Okay. So the accounts that we are discussing, let's go back to the question I asked you. So the accounts we're discussing, the Uber accounts that were created according to that evidence on June 20th. So why did you make those accounts on June 20th? She says, I don't remember, to be honest, but I know that I did not want Terry to know that. Like I was, because you could see the ride. So if she used her Sakiyna Thermogen account, Terry would have seen that she had rode over to Kayla's house, right? I'm thinking that's what she's trying to say. He'll see all the rides because I was under his account. Okay. But we like share the account. I have my own Lyft, but the hackers only work with Uber, not Lyft. Okay, all right. So did Terry know you were coming down to Miami or South Florida area on July 12th? He knew I was going there for nails. Okay. So why were you with Terry seeing Okay, so you were okay with Terry seeing that you were getting rides from the airport with your regular account? No, that was with my Lyft account. Okay, so when did you book the tickets to come for July 13th appointment? First, I booked one, then I fell asleep and I literally fell asleep and missed that one. Okay. And then I booked another one the 11th or the 13th. I don't understand. Okay. Okay, so when did you book the tickets to come down for the July 13th appointment? First, I booked one, then I fell asleep. I literally fell asleep and missed that one. Okay. And then I booked another one the 11th or the 12th, okay, of July. Okay. The state's evidence said July 11th. Does that sound right? Yes. Okay. And so you booked these tickets July 11th and you came the 12th through the 14th. Yes. Okay. On the 13th, you had a nail appointment when you came down. Were you planning on seeing Kayla when I came down? Yeah. Okay. I was. All right. Now, I know you said you got her address from Terry's phone because as we heard already, he had he would send her food, right? Yes. Okay. So how did you know that she would be there when you got there? I didn't actually. Okay. So what were you going to do if you got to the apartment building and she wasn't there? Just leave. Okay. All right. At this time, publishing States Exhibit 31, composite surveillance video. All right. Now, Sakina, we already watched this whole thing uninterpreted with the jury, correct? Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to be playing parts of it and pausing so you can explain to the jury what's going on and as to what we're seeing here. Okay. Playing video. All right. What are we seeing right now? I believe this is when I just landed from in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, so then would this be this area here? Would this be the gate area? Yes. Okay. So they clocked her the minute she came off the plane, everything. Um okay. Yes. Okay, so this is when you're coming off the plane. Yes. Okay, so we see that you are wearing a mask here. Did you wear the mask back then? I always wear a mask. Okay. I know you said that you were in New York. We're here in Florida. Did New York have different sort of COVID restrictions in July of 2022 than Florida did? I don't remember, but specifically because I was hopping on a flight, I definitely made sure I wore a mask. Okay. Now you are carrying a suitcase here and rolling suitcase. Yes. Okay. Now, was this you just dropped off the plane? You just got off the plane. So this was a carry-on? This was my carry-on. All right. Did you check any bags? Just this one, my carry-on. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pause this here. All right. And we see that the automatic zoom. Do you see yourself in this video right here? Okay, that's where the red arrow is. That's you, correct? Yes. Okay, and what are you doing here in this still shot? I'm getting my lift. Okay, and you are requested the lift under your name, under my Lyft account. Okay, and Terry, because Terry already knew that you were going down to Florida and going to South Florida. Yes. Okay. Now you're off the flight and you're still wearing the mask. Yes. All right. Did you wear your mask? Did you always wear a mask back then? Around now 2022? Yes. And in July of 22. Well, I was pregnant and so anything made me throw up. So I was wearing the mask all the time pretty much. Okay. Court reporter, Your Honor, the court is requesting a copy of the video exhibit played for the purpose of the record. Okay. All right. Question. All right. Are we just seeing your Uber right now driving through the airport? Yes, he's leaving. All right. And did you have a hotel reservation already waiting for you? No, I went to check in and pay for it that moment I walked in. Okay. So you hadn't reserved ahead of time at the Plaza Hotel? No. Okay. And I'll just skip ahead a little bit. Okay, let me go back. Do you remember what time your flight arrived? I think around 8 or 9 p.m. All right, now what are we seeing in this video? I got out of my lift and I'm entering the Plaza Hotel. And what about now? I'm walking into the hotel. All right. Did your lift take you straight to the hotel? Yes, straight to the hotel. All right. Now, I will only show a portion of this as we saw it earlier. This part takes a while, right? Yes. All right. Do you remember how long you were waiting at the reception area? Like 20, 30 minutes. Okay. Now we see that you're still wearing the mask, but your mask is down. Why is that? To check myself in and show myself present myself. Okay. Now at some point, and we'll skip to that part, but some point we saw in the state surveillance video that you order some kind of food delivery from Shake Shack. Okay, that's where she got the Shake Shack bag. At the Plaza Hotel, I guess she ordered food and bought it with her. Yes, I did. I'm sorry guys, I had to get some water. Okay. When did you order the food delivery? While I was on my way to the hotel. Okay, so you ordered it from the Lyft? Yes. Okay. All right. And we can see here you're on your phone again. Yes, just like you were after the gate. Yes. I'm a little addicted to my phone. I'm a little addicted to TikTok. Okay. All right. Did you know any of these people here? No, but I remember like making jokes with them. They were Jamaican. I'm Jamaican. All right. At this point, we're still waiting. Okay. All right. Do you remember what you ordered? A lot of stuff. Why did you order a lot of stuff? Because I was pregnant and people don't really talk about the first trimester. They think the last trimester is bad. The first trimester, you're hungry every 15 minutes, 15 20 minutes. Okay. And I had emesis. I'm not sure what that is. It's called HG, which is severe morning sickness. You're throwing up pretty much all the time. Okay. Yes. I'm just fast forwarding some parts here. Okay. What are we seeing now? I got hungry and I started eating. I couldn't wait. Okay. I'm just skipping a bit, still waiting. Okay. I'm going to let this start playing. Okay. So at this point, you're checked in. Yes, I'm checked in. All right. Now, before we get to the next part, so at this point, you're already checked in. How long did you check in for, and how long was your hotel reservation? It was for 2 nights. 2 nights and 2 days. All right. Did you pay for 2 nights at the desk then? So she thought I meant 1 night, but I really wanted 2 nights. So I ended up paying for 1 night and said, I'll come back downstairs in the morning and pay for the next night. Okay. Because I was already standing there for too long and I just went to my room. Now, I know you already testified that you did not know if Kayla was going to be in town, but you did not know what her work hours were when she was in town. No, not at all. Okay, did you know what she did for a living? I knew she was a bottle girl. Okay, all right. Now, what are we seeing here and what time was this? 2:04 in the morning. Okay, you're referring to here at the top. Yes. Left part. Yes. And obviously that's a very exact time. What does that sound what does that sound correct to you? Yeah. Does that sound correct to you? Excuse me. All right. Now we see here you're wearing something different. It appears that you wore when you got off the plane. When did you change your clothes? Oh, I had showered and changed I just got off the flight. I just showered and changed. All right. Now, so this is July of 2022. Now, South Floridians, we know that. Oh, okay. And I mean, gosh, remember the outfit she had on? I don't even know if I have it on this deck or not. She had on like a very heavy jacket. It's July. I didn't even think about that, guys. It's July in South Florida, and you have that big ass jacket on, heavy boots, and a ball cap. Girl, seriously? Okay. All right. Now, this is July of 2022. Now, us South Floridians, we know that is when it's very hot and you're wearing a jacket. Just how I dress. Oh, okay. Well, we on Instagram, we see her with dresses and blouses and yeah, okay, that's she says that's just how she dresses in the summer. Okay. These are your street clothes, pretty much street clothes. Yeah, not going outside clothes, just chill clothes. Okay. I'm not going to pull it up, but the state has previously shown the Instagram, and you obviously, when you go out, you're wearing different clothes, right? I wear heels and stuff to go out. Okay, now we see you have your Uber bag here and your telephone. Yes. All right. What did you have in your Uber bag? All my food and some of my stuff from my bag, my key card, my credit card, I think, like my lip balm. Okay. All right. What are you seeing? What are you seeing here? I believe I'm on the second floor now. Okay. Now, you said that you were on the second floor. Did you know Kayla lived on in a in apartment from Terry's phone? Yes, I did. All right. So when you arrived at approximately 2 in the morning here, we see that time is actually 2:02. Where did you go when you pulled in? Because I knew it was on the second floor. I think I'd seen the numbers already on the first floor, 7 1 something. So I knew blank was going to be upstairs. And I took the steps upstairs and I looked for the room, the door, and I seen it and I started knocking. Okay. And did you get a response? No. All right. So what did you do after you did not get a response? I figured, okay, I'll just wait. All right. Now, obviously, you already testified that you didn't even know if she was in town. So what if she was out of town? How long were you planning on waiting? I figured, okay, I'll wait. Maybe she's at work and parties down here are closing when I was here for Memorial Weekend. Either it was like 3:30. Okay. So I said, okay, I'll probably wait until then. All right. And so we see here you're standing around and you have an Uber Eats bag. Yes, I'm sorry, the Shake Shack bag. The Shake Shack bag. Okay. Now, here we see this camera from building 5 and you don't have the Shake Shack bag anymore. No, why not? So, can we pull up the picture from that floor of the second floor? Yes, sure, right here. The picture a picture of the hallway. Oh, just one moment. Sorry, technical difficulties. Can we get exhibit 31? Okay. Court, Miss Ross. Okay, court. Okay. Okay. I guess they're taking another break. Works. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, Sakina, you said you want to look at the hallway photos of the apartment building, correct? Yes, ma'am. All right, so I'm publishing 34 and we'll start with photograph 825. Next photo. Can you zoom in to the right here? I mean, obviously this is after everything. We see Rovelto in this photo, and did that help you in refreshing your memory? Yes. Okay. So why did you want to look at this photo? Because you said that I didn't have my Shake Shack bag. Can you zoom in a little more? Oh, which is Kayla's apartment, which is this one. This one over here. I believe so. Okay. All right. So do you want to go back to the composite video now? Not quite. Just go back a little more. You want to go to the next picture and you want to zoom in. I just wanted to explain where the steps are, where they were over there in this area. Were they over here in this area here? Where were they here in this area here? I don't know what she's trying to say. Yeah, they're literally right there, like at the corner of this wall. They're exactly right here. So here, obviously, this is a zoomed in photo. We don't have the photo of these stairs, but right here where you see the red emergency, yes, things that were the stairs, that the stairs are here, you're saying. Yes, that's where I was sitting at. Oh my God. And what is this little archway here? That's looking into the next building. Okay. So she was sitting on the stairs. Okay. And that would be building 7. Building 7. Okay, do you need to see any more of these? No, not right now. Okay, I'll keep it here in case you need to refer to it. All right, go back to the States Exhibit 31 composite surveillance video. It will take it. It was at 23 minutes. Thank you. All right, so let's go back just before that. So we over there, we saw you just now by some stairs, right? Yes. Were those the stairs, the same stairs that you just pointed out on the other side? I think it was on the other side. Okay, now when you're upstairs, we see you with the Shake Shack bag, right? Yes. Now we're continuing on. You don't have the Shake Shack bag with you. No. Okay, why not? I left it on the stairs because I was sitting right next to it. Okay. So what are you watching here on building 5 elevator for your first floor? So what are we watching here on building 5 elevator for your first floor? Now I'm actually downstairs in building 5 and I'm just looking around. Okay, why are you over there at the mailbox? I was looking actually to see if she really did live there, if her last name was on there or something. I knew that I knew what her last name was. Okay. Did the mailbox have any names? No. Okay, just apartment numbers. No, okay, just apartment numbers, just apartment numbers. Okay. All right. Now, what are we seeing here? Building 5, 2:25 a.m. I walked out of building 5. I think I was back to the front where I was dropped off. Can you speak up? I'm sorry. I walked out of building 5 back to the front of where I was dropped off. Okay. What are you doing here? I was kind of bored, killing time. Okay. What were you opening just now? I was just doing stuff. What's that? I was just bored, just opening. I was just doing stuff. Okay. All right. We're still looking at building 5 first floor. So exactly where I walked into a few steps over, I just left over there. All right. Do you know where you are at this point? At this point, I'm so confused. I entered building 7. Okay, adjacent to building 5. All right. Now, have you ever been to Tamarick Village Apartments before? Never. All right. Now, we've heard testimony that building 5 and building 7 are actually joined by apparently what we see here, this walkway. That's about 20 steps. Yes. That's about 20 steps. Yes. Okay. Or less. And did you realize at this point that you had moved into a different building? No, I did not. Okay. So I wonder if that's when they knocked on Jemiah's door. If she, okay, maybe, okay, I don't know. Okay, so now we are looking at still the state's composite. Now the camera angle is building 7 first floor. What are we seeing from this angle? From this angle, we're seeing me walk out of building 5. I'm trying to find back the steps, and guess I don't remember, but I entered the wrong building and I got lost. Okay. That's why she knocked on Jemiah's door asking if someone stole her bag. So she walked from building 5 to building 7. She knocked on Jemiah's Anthony's door and said, "Did someone steal my bag?" And she was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And she just closed the door. And that was maybe that was building 7. Maybe that's what that happened. Okay. Okay. So I see, like, I didn't even know where I was going. I got lost. So I thought I entered back into the right building. Okay. Now, do these buildings 5 and 7, do they have the same layout? The exact same layout. Okay. Now we're seeing this camera. Now, building 7, elevator for your first floor. What's going on here? I remembered that it looked the same, but it was kind of different, but they're the exact same. Okay. And what are we seeing now? I was leaving 7, going back to the corner, and I'm trying to find, like, now the back steps of where I was sitting at in building 5, but I'm in building 7. Okay, so at this point, you think you're in building 5. I think I'm in building 5. Okay. Now you don't have your Shake Shack bag, and I know that you said that you had left it upstairs. Did you know at this point that you didn't have your bag? No, because I know I'm going back upstairs. Okay. Why are you going back upstairs? I'm going to sit down. Okay, because you think that that's Kayla's apartment. Yes. All right. Now this part shows the ring camera and you passed by and then you were passing by again. Now we're trying to conceal yourself from the ring cam. No. Okay. Now we also heard, I wish we could have seen that. Let me just pause it. We also heard testimony from Jemiah Anthony. Do you recall that? Yes. Okay. And do you recall that her testimony was, she said she was living in apartment blank in building 7? 7. Okay. So that's why she was like, she didn't just knock on a random door. She thought she was knocking on Kayla's door. Maybe that's why she asked her how old she was. She didn't realize who she was. Okay. And with Terry messing around with 19-year-olds, she was kind of lucky. Okay. Okay. All right. So now at this point, so we're at building 7 at 2:50 in the morning. Have you gone to Jemiah Anthony's apartment to knock yet? I believe I might have. Okay. You don't recall the exact time? No. Okay. Tell the jury about why you knocked on that door and what you were doing. So when I went back upstairs, it doesn't show that part because the camera angle is not in that part of the by the stairs. When I went back upstairs to sit back down where I was sitting with my bag, I'm like, "Where's my bag?" When you're saying your bag, you mean your Shake Shack bag? My Shake Shack bag. Can I just say I cannot stand how she doesn't answer the question, she just repeats the answer? Okay. I'm like, "Where's my bag?" It was just here. And I was not downstairs for that long, and I didn't see nobody else in the hallway walking or anything. So I'm like, "Where's my bag?" And Jemiah lived in, so because I thought I was in building 5, sitting at the corner by Kayla's apartment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Soaring Eagle. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. And you left. Okay, and you testified that you left the Shake Shack bag near right at the steps, like, okay, sitting at the top of the steps in building 5 with me. Yes, and I heard movement in the house right across, like basically across from Kayla's door. Okay, from what would have been Kayla's door. What would have been Kayla's door in the right building? in the right building, but I was in the wrong building. Okay, so why did you knock at blank? Because I heard movement, so I assumed that that's the person who just got in when I was walking down and roaming around and took my bag. Took your Shake Shack bag? Took my Shake Shack bag. This girl needed a psychiatric evaluation. She's stupid as fuck. I'm sorry. Like, this is so fucking crazy. That poor girl. She got killed by a dummy. She really did. Um. Okay. So when you not, so she was looking for her. She was using her Shake Shack bag as a purse because remember she had her credit card, she had her room key, she had her food, she had all her stuff in her Shake Shack bag. Okay. And then she's so busy looking around trying to be nosy, she gets up, she leaves her Shake Shack bag, and her dumb behind goes to the wrong building. She starts walking around the wrong building, thinks she's in the right building, and goes to find her bag. Her bag is missing because, damn it, you're in building 7, not in building 5. So she knocks on Jemiah Anthony on top of the many, many clues she left behind. She had an interaction with somebody looking crazy wearing a coat in July in South Florida when it's probably damn 90 degrees at night and probably super humid. Oh my God, this girl is crazy. Okay. Did you see that with I don't even know. Okay, let me stop. Okay. All right. Did you see that there was a doorbell cam? There was a doorbell cam, yes. Okay. Is it visible? It was visible. Did you know that it was out of batteries or not working? No. Now we heard testimony from Jemiah that she was able to identify you because you took down your mask. Yes. So did you take down your mask to speak to Jemiah when she answered the door? I did. All right. And what did you and Jemiah, or what did you ask Jemiah? I asked her, I said, hi, I left my bag here, my Shake Shack bag, right at the steps, and was like, I don't know I don't know what bag you're talking about. And I didn't believe her. I just didn't believe her. You thought someone stole your food? I thought my stuff was in there. How would someone know that a room key was in the Shake Shack bag? This girl is stupid. Thank you, dear. You guys, that was fast. Oh, they didn't have ice. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, baby. Appreciate it. Tell daddy I said thank you. Okay. Um, okay. I thought somebody, my stuff was in there, my card. Okay. If you have on jeans, a jacket, pockets, why are you putting your credit card or bank card or whatever important stuff in a brown bag with food in it? Mm. Ugh, this isn't that good, but whatever. Um, okay, my key card, my ID, my stuff. So I'm like, my bag is literally right here. Like I just left my bag right here. I know I'm not crazy. So she was like, I don't know what bag you're talking about. I'm sorry, there's no bag. And I was like, okay. And was like, are you home alone? That's a weird question to ask somebody. You asked about your bag. She says she doesn't know what you're talking about. Then you ask her, is she home alone? And then she was like, yeah, I'm home alone. Poor kid. Why did you ask her if she was home alone? I just asked if she was home alone. That's a very creepy question to ask somebody. Um, what's that? She seemed young. She looked like she was young. Okay. And then what happened? And then I said, okay, like, well, are you okay? And then she said, yeah, but I just don't know what bag you're talking about. And I said, okay. I still didn't believe her. It was like 2 in the morning. She looked like, a Okay, it's back. Okay. I'm assuming you guys can. I don't know if you guys. I'm like, hello, is anybody here? Hello, 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 hello. Let's see. Oh, let me go to live chat. Maybe that's the problem. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. We shall resume. You can hear me? Okay, very good. Thank you, Pen Pal. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. All right, let's keep going. It just okay. Let's see. Okay, so what happened? Okay. And then I said, okay, like, well, are you okay? Then she said, okay. I still didn't believe her. So you believe Terry the liar, but you don't believe a 16-year-old complete stranger who's telling you, like, ma'am, what are you talking about? I don't have your freaking bag. Okay. You don't believe the person who has no reason to lie to you, but the person who has every reason to lie to you, you believe, and you keep letting him get you pregnant. Mm, dumb. Okay. And then I'm still walking around looking for this bag because now I'm still in building 7 for like another 30, 40 minutes. How big is the building? Like where's the bag? Did somebody just come take my bag? I need this bag. And I was going to knock on other people's doors, but I knocked on Jemiah's door because I heard movement and I heard the TV was on. I heard movement. So I remembered seeing this Asian guy walking in with the lady. And then I asked them if they'd seen my bag, and they said, no, sorry. They're probably like, who is this weird girl walking around with a damn bomber jacket in the middle of the summer looking for a Shake Shack bag? They probably thought she was a crackhead. Um, you should play the video. Okay, so we're going back. That's not going to prove your innocence, ma'am. Nobody cares. We're still on camera angle of building 7. Yes, east first floor. And that is almost 3 in the morning. Okay, all right. At this point, I mean, you have realized you're in the wrong building yet, right? No. All right, you come through a different entrance, building 7, first floor. Do you know that you're in building 7 yet? No. All right. Why are you going back upstairs? I'm just at this point, I had to take it that I lost my bag. Okay. All right. So now I'm going back to sit down. Now I enter back to building 5. So hold on. So you said that at this point you just had to take it that you lost your bag. Yes. And so you said you just had to go sit down. So now I'm going back upstairs. All right. And this is in building 7. Yes. Okay. So we saw that was the time of 2:53, 3 in the morning, and that we're going in between 3 and 4:30 and 4:43. Does the video show how long I was in building 7 for? This is what we have. Okay, well, I went back upstairs in building 7, and I remember I knocked on Jemiah's door again and asked her, I know you took my bag. Like, you took and you had to have taken my bag. And she was like, well, she didn't answer. Sorry. So I didn't answer actually the second time. Okay. And yeah, she did answer the second time. And then I left again. And then she said that she did not take my bag. Then I knocked again and I kept knocking and she wouldn't answer. She should have called the police, but if she would have called the police, you never know, could have changed, but that's not her fault. Her mom was out and she was home alone and she probably just didn't know to not do that. But okay. Now you had said before that, obviously not knowing if Kayla was even in town or not, you would have waited until 3:30, but we see here that it's like 4:40 in the morning. Yes. They had Why had you not left at this point? I just told myself honestly, like 5. I said that if the sun comes up, that's what I remember telling myself. If the sun comes up, I'll leave. Okay. All right. So playing the video. Now you sound certified crazy. This is why you're going. That's why you're in jail, ma'am, for life. You stayed there till the sun came up. And this is building 5 camera angle. All right. Here, do you recognize the person who walked in? Yes, it's Kayla. Okay, finally. We are at when they interact. Okay, okay. All right. So playing the video, um, this is building 5 camera angle. All right. Here, do you recognize the person who walked in? Yes. That's Kayla. Okay. Were you in building 5 at this point? No, I was in building 7. She is girl, sis is all right. Did you know that you were in building 7? No, I did not know that still. So, okay. So you thought you were upstairs in building 5. Yes. Okay. Now at this point, we see Kayla passing by camera, correct? Yes. All right. Were you okay? All right. Where are you at this point? Remember the photo that we saw with Revelto sitting down in the like I guess the lookout part of the window part. This part, that's this part, just point at it. The archway. I think that's back in building 5 or front. I'm not sure. Okay. So you were on the other side in building 7, but I literally could look through the building 5. Okay, all right. So did you ever see Kayla at that point? Yes. Uh-oh. So she'd been there for like how many hours, guys? She left her hotel at 2. It's now 5 in the morning. So 3 hours later, she's standing for an hour and a half in the wrong building looking for her Shake Shack bag. She looks through the breezeways and can see directly into the other building and she sees Kayla. All right. How did you see her? I literally, like sheer chance, like by coincidence, I happen to turn and I see her walking in. Okay. As you were in building 7 through the archway, yes, that she just like well, this is bad. I don't know if you can see in the picture, but in the other picture, you can literally see into building 7 through building 5. Okay. All right. So we're going back to the video now, and this gives a different time. This is 4:39. Does that sound a little closer to the correct time? Yes. Okay. All right. Now, do you recall the what time this was? Obviously, there's no time on it. No. Okay. Okay, you see how close the buildings are to each other? Yes, I realized when I was upstairs that I'd seen her, and that's when I realized I'm in the wrong building the whole time because you're a dummy. That's when I realized. Okay, and so is that when you come down? That's when I come down. I literally did 6 steps to go through to the other building. There, okay, that close. Is that the angle that we're seeing here? Yes. Okay. So the previous ones was the building 5. Now this is building 5. Okay. So now you're going upstairs to the second floor. Yes. Objection leading. So were you going upstairs to building 5 at that point? I was going up to building 5. Okay. Now let's pause here. Let's pause this here for a moment. All right. Now, obviously, there's no video until you come out, and it appears you are wearing different clothes. Is that a yes? Yes. Okay. So, what happened when you went upstairs to building 5 and you went to the right building and you went upstairs? What happened? As soon as I went upstairs, well, First, did you find your Shake Shack bag? Yes. As soon as I walked back up the stairs, the Shake Shack bag was right there at the top of the stairs. Okay. Now, what happened then? Then I got my bag. I started knocking on her door because I realized I seen her and I could see her. I realized, okay, she's home. Right. You see that she arrived home. Yes. Okay. What did you have? Did you have any weapons on you? Not at all. Okay. Did you bring any weapons with you from New York? No, because I hopped on a flight. You can't. Why would she say that? No, I just came to, went to go talk to her. So they're asking her, do you have any weapons? And she says, no, because you can't take weapons on a flight. This girl is so stupid. Okay. And as we know, okay. And as we saw, you had just one carry-on, correct? Yes. All right. And you were not allowed to bring anything. Objection leading. Are you allowed, sustained, to bring a nail file on a airplane? I bring my nail stuff because I brought my nail stuff with me. I bring my nail stuff because I brought my nail stuff with me. Okay. Are you allowed to bring a knife on a on an airplane? No. Are you allowed to bring a gun on an airplane? No. Okay. So you already testified that you took the lift. You went straight to the hotel. You didn't but you didn't stop. You didn't stop anywhere you already testified to. I didn't stop anywhere. Okay. And you heard the testimony of Detective Peter John Plummer, who did those cell site charts tracking your phone movements, right? Yes. Okay. Did those appear accurate to you? Accurate. Okay. Do you recall how long it took you to get from the Plaza Hotel to Tamarack Village Apartments? Well, it was early in the morning, so it didn't take long at all. Probably like 10 minutes, 10, 20, or something. Okay. I'm not sure. All right. Now, do you recall Detective Plummer testifying that it was something like 6 to 9 minutes? That's accurate. Yeah. Does that sound about right? That sounds about right. Okay. Did you stop to get any weapons on your way to Tamarack Village Apartments? No. All right. Does the Plaza Hotel sell any weapons that you could buy? No. Okay. So when you went to Kayla's apartment, were you armed with anything? No, I was not armed with anything. Okay. Just the Shake Shack bag with your food and the items, your personal items, correct? Yes. Okay. When you knocked on Kayla's door, what was your intent? What did you want to do? I just wanted to talk to her. Okay. Did you know if Kayla had a gun? Owned a gun in her apartment? No. Okay. And she did though. The mom was had a concealed carry, I think. Okay. No, you knew that she did not, or you did not know. No, I did not know if she owned a gun or not. Okay. In her apartment. And regardless, you still knocked on her door, right? I still knocked on her door. Okay, so you knocked on her door, and what happened? I knocked on the door and she didn't come right away. And I was knocking, girl, I would have gone got my gun and had that thing ready to go. I knocked on the door and she didn't come right away. And I was knocking. I kept knocking. And about like maybe a minute later, she might have been taking a shower. A minute or two later, she came out. Well, she didn't come out. She opened the door. Okay. And what was she wearing when she opened the door? Her robe. Okay. And pink Crocs. All right. The pink robe that the state had introduced to evidence. Yes. And okay. And what did she recognize you, or rather don't speculate what happened when she opened the door? She opened the door and I pulled my mask off. Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god. Do you imagine? So she just got home from work, so she was probably taking off her clothes when whoever knocked. She might have been in the shower, who knows? She's got her robe on. She finally answers the door. She opens the door. Someone is bamming on the fucking door. You open the door like, "Bitch, what?" I would have had my gun. And she takes her mask down and it's like, "Oh shit." Did she say anything? Okay. Did you say anything to her? Yeah, I said, "Hey." And her reaction was like, because she was not expecting me out of all people. Okay. Especially at 4 in the morning, almost 5 in the morning at her house in Florida. All right. And she was like, "What?" And then I said, "I need to talk to you." And then what happened then? And then she was like, "About what?" And I said, "About me, you and Terry, me and Terry." Girl, mm-mm. Can you just speak up a little? I said, "About me and you and me and Terry." Okay, what did she do then? And what did she say to that? She just stood there and was like for 10 seconds or so and then said, "Okay, I'm sorry." She said, "Okay." Okay, and then what happened when she said, "Okay"? And she said, like, walked back a little, but like, to let me in. Oh my god. Okay, then what happened? And then now I'm kind of just like standing there and it was a little awkward and I'm just standing there with my bag, my Shake Shack bag, and she pointed to the like bar stools. So I went and sat down and then she started to say sparking up the hookah, but like making or preparing a hookah. Okay. Now we saw some photos of a little white dog. Did you see the dog while you were there? Yes, he was there. Okay. All right. So she's sparking up the hookah and then what happens? And then she's like, "Okay, so talk." And then she said, "Wait, first of all, how did you find my house? How did you know where I live?" And I said, "Through Terry's phone." She said, "I figured." Okay. And then did you guys continue talking? We were talking. Okay. And what was the tone of the conversation? At first, it was kind of, I don't know how to explain it. Like she wanted to know, what do I need to talk to her about? Like, proceed, go ahead, talk, explain yourself. Okay. And what did you tell her? And then I was like, okay, like this whole back and forth thing with Terry, what's going on? I was asking her what's going on. And she was like, "What do you mean? What's going on?" And then she said, "What's going on with you two? Because I'm hearing something different from him. I'm seeing different things on his phone and it's pretty much like back and forth like what's going on and your motives with him because he lies and he's saying stuff to me and I don't have time for it no more." Let me ask you this. At this point, finding out that Terry is constantly cheating on you and even while you're pregnant, why didn't you just break up with Terry? I should have just like left. Why didn't you? I don't know. The heart is just like weak. I'm sorry. I said the heart is just weak. Her heart is weak or she's weak? Like, come on, lady. Okay, all right. So, did you tell Kayla at any point during this conversation that you were now pregnant? Yes, but not so soon. We were speaking. You hadn't told her yet. You were speaking for about 15 minutes. She told me how they met and I thought I knew how they met, but they met the day before I wrote her. I just didn't Okay. She told me that he always said that he did not have a girlfriend. I said, "Well, look, I've written you the day I thought it was the first day." I'm sorry, could you repeat that? The day that I thought I would that the day that I thought was the first day that they met, I wrote her and it was established that she knew I was his girlfriend, and I had pictures and videos of him on my page. And okay, now at this point, when you went to see her, did you feel threatened emotionally by Kayla? Yes. How are they gonna try to say that she felt threatened emotionally by Kayla when you went and sat there for 3 hours waiting for her to get home and went to her apartment? Yes. Okay. Why? Hold on. Because nobody really wants to have an extra person in a relationship, especially that's a relationship that consists of 2 people. We never established that we were into polyamory or want extra people or we're seeing extra people, a little, I guess you could say jealous, a little, I guess you could say jealous and, like, insecure. You were jealous and insecure? Yeah, okay, and just can you tell the jury why? It wasn't just with Kayla, it was with any other girl really because I wouldn't he you wouldn't want me with any other guy. So, why are you doing these things you're doing? Okay, all right. So you said that you guys were talking for like about 15 minutes or so. What happened then? She was making it seem like at first she didn't really care about him. And I said, well, the messages, I went back to my own screenshots in my phone and the ones that I've sent from his phone that I sent to her. Do you mean that prior exhibit that we introduced? All right. Are you referring to the defense exhibit 6, the screenshot within the screenshot? I am. Okay. So you said that you had pulled this out and you were talking to her and looking at her phone, at your phone. Yes. Okay, then what? I started like reading them out loud and she said like you don't have to read them. I know what they say. And I said, "Okay, well you're acting like you don't like him and you acting like you don't like him like that and stuff. Like this shows that you do like him actually." Those messages say that are like back to back. Yes. Okay. I told her those messages actually look like my messages to him when I'm upset or I want this attention and stuff. So it looks similar. So this is stuff that you send if you actually do like somebody and want their attention. Okay. How did she respond to that? She just, she was just she was like she was smoking her hookah by that point. I'm sorry. By that point, she was smoking the hookah now. Okay. And she's like deflecting on the questions because I'm telling her this is a lie. You actually do like him. And she was like smoking and like purposely blowing in my direction. Girl, okay. And I was like, fan that. She was like, what? You don't smoke hookah? And she said, "Well, I can't smoke hookah right now." And she was like, "What do you mean right now?" And she said, "Because and I said, "Because I'm pregnant. That's why I wanted to talk to you." Okay. And how did she react to that? I remember her initial reaction and she just smoked another one. Ah! Like she pulled another puff and then she's like, "You're always pregnant." Kayla is a key. Kayla said, "You're always pregnant." Ooh. Oh, that's funny. Kayla said, "You're always pregnant." And said, I was pregnant the first time you guys met, and said I was pregnant the first time you guys met and I miscarried. And she said she never knew about that. And then I told her that whether I kept this baby or not, whether if it's my choice of an abortion, it's which it wasn't, or if this pregnancy, this one goes good, I said he's going to be in the picture. He's going, Terry's going to be the dad. He's had our baby since he's had our baby since day one. Since day one, he's had our baby. He's raised him. This is our first baby, both. He's had our baby. I said, girl, something is really, this girl is, it's all about it's all about owning Terry to me. She just wants to own Terry, but Terry doesn't care. Mm-mm-mm. What do you mean he's had our baby? I mean, the baby wasn't born yet. What do you mean he's had our baby? I mean, the baby wasn't born yet. No, the baby was not born yet. But I'm saying that overall, his extra activities, I know that he would be a good dad. I know that. Okay. And I know you already testified that Terry seemed happy about this one. Yes. Okay. So you're telling Kayla all of this, and then what happens? And then she was like, honestly, I don't really. Ooh, did she say I don't give a fuck? Oh, she did. She said, and then she said, and then she was just like, honestly, I don't give. Well, she said, honestly, I don't give a fuck. And then she said, if he hits me up, and then she said, if he hits me up, what she said, if he hits me up, I'm going to respond. And I'm like, so you're basically saying that you don't care about what I'm saying, about how I feel? Okay. Now, at this point, did you ever put any hands on her? No. Okay. So she tells you, and then what happens? Then she just basically was saying like she just don't give a fuck and she don't care, and that she doesn't, and that she's going to continue to talk to him, and that she was just kind of getting loud. Okay. And then that made me get a little petty, I guess you want to say. And I was like, well, if you want to keep seeing him, you're still going to be a number two and you're never going to be number one. Okay. And how did she take that? I think that triggered her because she was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And then the dog started barking, and the dog was barking at this point. Okay. And then what happened? And then she took her dog, and then she was going to the room, and I guess to put her dog away. Okay. Hold on. Pause for a second. May I borrow the state's demonstrative aid of the apartment building? Okay. So I'm going to just hold this up so we can. Do you, and then Miss Johnson from the prosecution says, do you want the easel? And Miss Ross says, yes, please, thank you. So I'm going to do, Miss Johnson was just like, do your big one. Go ahead and cook right now. Go ahead and let your client keep digging her life without parole grave. Okay. So this is the front door. That's the front door. Okay. Now, when you're saying that she told you to have a seat, where did you sit down? Right here. Okay. And where was the hookah? Like right here. And this is the kitchen island right here. Yes. All right. And then you said that when you told her you were pregnant and when she said that she seemed to be triggered, where were you guys at this point? I was still sitting down, and that's when she started yelling at me. You have to speak up because you have the mic because you have the mic off, and I was still sitting down, and that's when she started yelling at me, but she was, like, walking around the kitchen, and her dog was, like, right there. Okay. And then you were saying that she picked up the dog. Where did she go when she picked up the dog? She moved the dog to the room. Okay. So you're pointing here to the to the guest bathroom. Yes. Okay. Or what they described as guest bathroom. Did you know whose room that was? No. Okay. And this is the hallway that is closest to the front door. Yes. Okay. All right. Now, when she went and put the dog in the guest room, where were you? I was kind of like standing in the doorway a little bit. Okay. Why did you get up and stand in the doorway? I'm still talking to her and I'm like, "So you're still going to be number 2 and that's that." Okay, now at this point is the conversation getting heated? And she says, "It's very heated." Okay. Like we're pretty much at this point both yelling. You would have had to go. Okay, and what happened then? And then she puts the dog down and she said in a second, she said, "You said in the second this bed." Okay. So she puts the dog down. You said in the second this bedroom, right? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And she turned around and she rushes me. Oh, okay. So she's putting it on Kayla. She says that Kayla rushed her in a robe, right? She hits me. She rushes she rushes at you with what? She hits me. Where did she hit you? She tried to hit me in the face, but I kind of just pulled back and I fell back on this wall. Okay. All right. And you go ahead and have a seat now. Okay. So you said that she rushes you and she goes to hit you and you kind of move back. And then what? Then I push her back. Okay. Now it's a fight. Okay. Okay. And then what? She falls and then she gets up and then she starts swinging at me and now we're fighting. Okay. We're actually fist fighting now. And did you fight back? I'm fighting back. All right. Now, at this point, does anybody have any weapons? No. Okay. So this is the fist fight between two of you. This is a fist fight. Okay, and then what happened? And then the fight's like in the little hallway right here. Okay. And so you don't have to keep getting up. You're referring to this hallway here. Yes. Okay. So you guys are fighting in this hallway. Yes. And then what happened? And then we kind of like stop and I'm not trying to fight because I'm pregnant. I just want to make sure, can everyone in the jury see? All right. You said that you are not trying to fight because you're pregnant. No. And I just sit in there because we are talking for so long or long enough. In my periphery, I'm like spinning around and I seen that there was another bedroom and I didn't realize that there was. I thought she was by herself, to be honest, the whole time. I thought that she was by herself. I didn't know who else lived in the other bedroom. I didn't know if it was a roommate or who. I didn't know who it was. Now I'm thinking I might get jumped or set up. How can you get set up when you came to this lady's house at 4 in the morning? That doesn't make any sense. Um, okay. I thought I might get jumped or set up. I'm trying to leave. Okay, so you said you were trying to leave. So where did you go? Now I'm going back to the front door. Okay. So you said you were fighting in the hallway. Yes. You see this bedroom. Yes. And then you said, "Uh-oh, I didn't know that there was someone else and I'm trying to get out of here. Okay, so you go here to the front door. Before I go, I'm literally trying to grab my bag, the Shake Shack bag, the Shake Shack bag, the Shake Shack bag. Okay, and she takes the hookah and smashes it across my head. I just don't believe that. Like right at the corner of the island, like here, right here. Okay. Now, did you see the hookah? Like, did you see her smash it on your head? It's like I seen it coming right when it already came. Okay. Now, were you still wearing your hat at this point? I still was, but not the mask, my hat. I'm sorry, not the mask, just my hat. Okay. And once she smashed the hookah on your head, what was the hookah made of? A hookah is made out of, well, this hookah, what was it made of? I don't remember the bottom fully, but every hookah has a glass. Okay. Piece, a hose, a pipe. Okay, a hose is part of it's that parts that make up, I don't know. It's like acrylic, I guess you could say. I'm sorry. I guess acrylic. Okay. They're all different. Okay. I Do you recall approximately how big this hookah was? Like about indicating big. Okay. Is that just a approximation? Yes. Okay. It could have been a little bigger, it could have been a little smaller. Okay. So once she smashes the hookah, what happened next? I fall, like kind of splaying out of the front because I was just about here by the front door. I was just about to turn around, and that's when the hookah came at me. Okay, and I fall, and I feel like a thump, and I start seeing stars, when like you get up too fast and you get hit and you start seeing stars. Okay, and you just start grabbing, and she just starts grabbing my hair and punching me, and I'm on the floor, I'm kicking, I'm trying to get up to fight back. And at this point, because now it's a fight and we're just fighting and we're fighting and it's hard fight. We're fighting. Now, at this point, I know you said that she had broken the hookah over your head. Were there any other weapons involved at this point? So the fight seemed like it went on for like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It was a long fight, okay? Like we're both fighting each other, and then she puts now at this point I know she broke the hookah over my head, and this still is a fist fight. It's still a fist fight, okay? Then the glass from the hookah, the glass part, she picks it up and then she just starts coming at me. Okay, did she say something when she was doing that? Just not really. Okay. So what happened when she does that? Like, does she make contact? Like words like bitch, fuck you. Okay, stuff like that. Okay. When she's swinging around the glass, what do you do? What happens next? I'm screaming, "Stop, stop." She's fighting, she's swinging the fists, she's swinging the glass at the same time. Okay. And I remember I'm like this indicating, and then I'm trying to grab her hand and she's just going so fast. I feel like something across my stomach. Okay. And what went across your stomach? The glass. Okay. You felt it? I felt it. Okay. Were you bleeding? I was definitely bleeding. Okay. And what happened then? At that point, once I felt that, I just blacked out. I blacked out. Do you remember grabbing a piece of glass? I do. Okay. Just to try to just go slowly as you remember, describe to the jury how the rest. of what happened. The rest of it happened. I remember I grabbed the glass. I thought I was still fighting. And then by the time I blinked, I see her just stop moving, like she just kind of was like staggering. And then what happened? And then she fell. Okay, go on. And then what happened? I stood there and you say she fell. Can you elaborate a little bit to the jury? Was she dead at this point? She was bleeding. She was definitely bleeding and there was blood squirting everywhere. And now what happened? I'm just standing there like, because I didn't till this day looking at these pictures, I can't tell how that happened because I blacked out. Today, okay, do you remember grabbing the glass? I remember grabbing the glass. Okay. Do you remember slashing with the glass? No. I know you said that you had the head that you got hit. I know that you said that you had the head that you got hit on and your stomach. Did you at that point when she was down, hold on, when see any other injuries on yourself? That doesn't sound right, but I know that you said that you had the head that you got hit on and your stomach. Did you at that point when she was down see any other injuries on yourself? Uh Kind of like put the glass on the counter on the island and just got crying at and I'm just crying at this point, like I'm literally crying. And I had braces on at that time. My mouth was bleeding. I taste blood. My head, like over here, I was bleeding, and the back and my back was bleeding, and I'm crying, and I'm like throwing up. I'm trying to not throw up, but I feel like it's coming. So I go to the bathroom. Okay, now when you say you go to the bathroom, which bathroom did you go to? The bathroom in the corner. This one is the one that they call the master bathroom. The other one is the guest bathroom. This one that's the closest to the door. Yes. Okay, so you go into this bathroom and is Kayla still on the floor at this point? Yes, she's on the floor. All right. At this point, do you know if she's alive or dead? She seemed like she was dead. Okay. Why didn't you call the police? I was scared. I was just scared, 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 scared. Okay. What were you scared of? I was pregnant and I was like, I just killed somebody. And in a moment like that, you just don't know what to do, really. A lot of people think that they will probably call the cops. Objection, narrative, sustained. Okay, you were saying I was just scared. Okay, so you didn't call the police? No. Did you go to this bathroom? Yes. Okay, what did you do in the bathroom? I'm throwing up like bile, the yellow part of my pregnancy. I'm sorry, the yellow part of the pregnancy throw up. I was throwing up. I was throwing up blood. I'm spitting out blood. Were you throwing up in the sink? Okay, in the sink. Okay, so in the sink over here, yes. Okay. And then what happened? And then I started looking at myself in the mirror and I see that I'm bleeding. And then I go back to the kitchen and to the kitchen over here. Okay. Yes. Okay. And I get paper towels and I'm cleaning up. And what were you cleaning up? My wound. I feel blood on my back. I looked at myself in the mirror. I see blood. And now you were wearing the jacket. How did you see the blood? I'm wearing a white shirt. I could see, like, I took the jacket off by this time. I could see what's going on. Okay, now when you were walking around, you've heard a lot of evidence about foot impressions. You're basically freely admitting that you were walking around this stuff, right? Yes. Right. And what you were walking in the bathroom. Yes. Do you even know if you're stepping in blood at this point? That's not that's not really what I was thinking about. If I was stepping in blood, I was trying to just get out. No, not at all. Okay. The person Sherry said no regard at all. Yeah, none. Okay. Y'all, I said I was gonna read for 1 more hour and it's almost 2 more hours. Okay, when we get to we're gonna go like 15 more minutes and we're gonna stop because I'm getting tired. I'm sorry, guys. Um, we've gone almost like 150 pages today. Let's see. Okay. So once you're in the bathroom and you're throwing up, what did you do then? I'm cleaning up. Yes, I grabbed a bunch of paper towels. Yes. Okay. And then what? And then my finger, I cut my finger on my finger. Okay. And then my finger. I had a cut on my finger. I'm sorry. My nail, my pinky nail came off. That's bleeding. That was like dripping and it's like dripping on stuff. So I think that nail that came off, her pinky nail, that might be the nail that they found at the scene. Dripping on stuff. I'm like, sorry. I'm like, okay, dripping on what stuff? This Fendi bag that was close by. Okay. And when you say a Fendi bag, are you talking about like a Fendi purse or like a Fendi shopping bag? A shopping bag. All right. So you saw in those pictures, the surveillance pictures when she left with the Fendi shopping bag. All right. A yellow Fendi shopping bag. Yes. Okay, go on. And I had to change at that point because I'm like, I can't leave out of here looking like this and go back to the hotel. She had no intentions of calling the police. She's dead. I'm cleaning up and I'm going back to my hotel. That's it right there. All right. Why did you feel like you had to change? Because there was blood everywhere. Okay, now do you know how many paper towels you went through? A lot. Okay. Now, what did you do with the paper towels and the clothing that you were wearing? I put them in the Fendi bag. Can you repeat that? I put them in the Fendi bag. Okay. In the shopping bag? Yes. Okay. And you said that you had taken off the clothes that you came in with. Where did you get the clothes that you changed into? In the closet that she put the dog in that room. So in that room, you came into that room? Yes. And was the dog still in there? The dog was. Okay. I know that everything happened kind of quickly and you said that she rushed you in this room, but did you notice if the door was open or closed when you were coming back in here? I don't remember. Okay. But you said you came back in this room and the dog was in there. Yes. Okay. And where did you go in this room to get clothes? In the closet? Is this the closet right here? Yes. Okay. And do you remember what you changed into? Another white shirt. I found a white shirt, this pink little crop hoodie. Okay. I didn't and did you change your hat? I did. And did you change your hat? My hat was in blood. Okay. On the floor. Now it's now it's a dark hat. It was a black or navy blue. It's hard to tell from the video. I think it was very navy blue. I don't remember. Okay, and where did you get the hat from? This boutique, this brand, they're online. No, I'm saying where I'm saying where no, not the hat. Oh, that hat. That that you came with. Where did you get the hat that you changed into? I believe it was in that room also. Okay. She thought she was asking her where she got her New York cat from. Okay. Okay. And we also heard from the testimony about some pink slippers that you think that I think Janisa described as the house shoes. Um, where where did you find those? Those were right there at by the island. Okay. They were in this area, like there. Okay. And then what happened? There was a suitcase right there by where the bottom of her foot is in this area, literally right there. Okay. And what color was the suitcase? Black. And why did you get the suitcase? I had to put all my other stuff and then my shoes that I came with, those Prada sneakers, um, that they talked about? Yes. Okay. There was so much paper towel. I grabbed another roll of paper towel. And did you ever collect any glasses that were around the floor of the hookah? Yes. So she took evidence, all kinds of stuff. Um, okay, where did you collect the glass from? Just all over the floor and the one that was on the island. Okay, it was on the island here. And when you say all over the floor, what areas are you referring to? Like by the door, by this door here? Yes. Okay, is this where the majority of the fight occurred? Yes. Okay, and is this where the fight occurred with the glass and the hookah? Yes. Okay. Now, why did you collect the glass? I collected the glass because it had to come with me. I was not leaving that there. Can you say that again? I couldn't leave that there. Why not? Because at this point, that's what was fatal to her. Okay. So you were trying to collect it because you were afraid of getting, I was. I thought at this point I was scared. Okay. All right. Did you collect all the glass? No, not every single piece. I'm sorry, not every single piece. Okay. And obviously we heard testimony and saw the photo that there was quite a bit of glass left as you as you saw from this trial. Yes. Okay. Now, how long approximately after the fight do you think that you remained in the apartment? 10 minutes or something? Okay. The bathroom, I don't remember that you were in throwing up and washing up. Did you clean up any of this area? Yes, the sink part. Okay, how did you clean it? Like Lysol wipes? Okay, where did you get Lysol wipes from? They were right there in the top, the corner of the island. Okay, the kitchen island? Yes. Okay, guys, I think we're going to stop right here. Okay. We'll pick up here and then I think they're almost done, but this confirms this girl is really stupid. It's unfortunate that Kayla had to lose her life over this. I would be very upset if I was her mother that she unfortunately came across this dumb guy with the glasses on at the bottom of the screen, and he had an even dumber girlfriend who is very, very stupid and low IQ, and that they crossed paths with this girl. It's so unfortunate that this girl thought that she could have a conversation with this girl because no, not never. So it's very unfortunate. Anyway, meet me back here tomorrow at some point. We've gone almost 4 hours on this today, guys. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up for me. It's very much appreciated. It's like almost absolutely just necessary. Hit the thumbs up for me so we can finish this up. Hopefully we can finish it up tomorrow. We might need one more session after that, but after we finish Sakina's testimony, we're going to be done with this. The not so much the case because you guys may or may not know that they filed an appeal. So we're keeping up on the case, but as far as reading all of this testimony, there's so much testimony, and at the end of the day, I almost feel like this should have been like a 3-day trial, not a 10-day trial. This is crazy. They had so much evidence to convict this woman. I don't know why they had to go through so many people because this is crazy and there's nothing that is self-defense in this at all when you got on a plane and sought this girl out. That's just my opinion. If you got to this point in this video, comment down below and tell me what you think, but this is not giving self-defense. You know what I'm saying? This girl had no idea she was coming. She didn't say, "Come to my house and holla at me." This girl had no idea she was coming, and a mess. So, anyway, guys, I'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of the day. We will talk tomorrow. Okay. Okay. No problem. Okay, you guys, take care. Have a good night. All right. Take care.